What's up, ski world? Welcome to the second stop of the Freeride World Tour 2019 here in Kicking Horse, Golden, BC. We've got a beautiful bluebird day with fresh snow and a show just about to go down. My name is Neil Willerman, and I'm sitting here with my new co-host, friend, and commentator, Derek Foost, the BC local. How you doing, Derek?
Thanks, Neil. I'm so excited to be here, so excited to be part of the Freeride World Tour family. And I think the thing I'm most stoked about is my first time here with the Freeride World Tour is in my beautiful home province of BC. You know, it's a spectacular place. We're welcoming the world to right here in Golden.
That's right. Golden's been very welcoming for us. It has opened us in our hearts and been welcoming with open arms. Golden has a lot of things to do. They've got lots of great outdoor activities apart from skiing. They've got sledding, they've got snowmobiling, they've got wilderness adventures, wildlife. There's lots of things to do around here that don't involve skiing, but of course the skiing is what we're here for this World Tour stop here today.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't really talk about Golden without getting into Kicking Horse Mountain Resort. We saw Boo Bear there. This place is purpose-built for free riding. The terrain here lends itself to the kind of shredding that we like to do, and the quality of the snow is just so perfect. It's cold, it's light, it's dry. It's the exact thing that we like. And of course, you can't have, you know, a Freeride World Tour resort without a Freeride World Tour venue.
Yeah, that's right. Seeing some shots of the highest restaurant in Canada there. Just a wee stat for you if you want to come up and enjoy it with the beautiful view like we have today. The face that we're riding here today opposite that restaurant is the Ozone Face. It's a southeast face, which is just a short hike away from the resort up the stairway to heaven. The Ozone Face is exactly what we competed on last year. We've got two stops, 2,500 meters and 2,450 to make sure that athletes can access all of the venue. 324 meters of vertical height drop and a 44-degree overall steepness, which is pretty damn steep. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for the athletes, I think, to pack in enough features to get a good score and take home a podium finish here today. The Ozone Face, iconic here. It's going to be opened up to the public after the competition gets done today. So if you want, you can come and ski it yourself, have a look at the places that riders are taking off and landing. It's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And it's quite a contrast. You know, we're seeing the Ozone Face here. It's steep, it's compressed, but we've already competed once here on the Freeride World Tour this year, and that was back in Hakuba, Japan, and you know, kind of a different shape to the face in Hakuba.
That's right. We had the snowboard women running third out of the four categories in the last competition. This time they're running first. Rowdy, 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 rowdy. That's what these girls are going to get. That's what they got in Hakuba, Japan. Ayana Onozuka taking home her first World Tour win. She's been on the tour for a couple of years now, and she's looking to challenge for the title.
Yeah, and of course, Manuela Mandl. She is our reigning and current Freeride World Tour world champion, and she is looking to take back her crown again, and she absolutely loves this Ozone venue.
That's right. Marion Haerty, the defending world champion from 2017, not one to be discounted, hot on the heels of the two more freeride-focused riders. She's more of a freestyle rider herself with a World Cup slopestyle background.
Oh, and absolutely stacked field here in the snowboards women category here, ready to throw it down on the Ozone Face. We're going to take a quick look at who's who of the field here in our snowboard women.
We've got ski women coming up second for you today. Just before that, we're going to have snowboard women, and I'm pretty sure that the first person to drop is going to be Manuela Mandl. The second person to drop on course, we are going to have Erika Vikander out of the USA, Wakana Hama out of Japan. They are the two second year on tour, the sophomore riders, before we have Nicole Kelly, who is the first year on tour rider, local rider here out of Kicking Horse, living in a van representing for Canada.
Yeah, super exciting to see her throw down on her home turf. And then, of course, the Russian current Freeride World Tour leader, Anna Orlova, Marion Haerty out of France, and then a big Freeride World Tour family welcome back to Maria Kuzma. Maria left the tour a while back to pursue other things. She moved to New York to become an architect. She's done more since she's left the tour than I've probably done in my whole life, and now she's back, so she's stoked to be back in the family and ready to throw it down here on Ozone.
Big ups to Maria for getting back on the tour after an 8-year hiatus. She was on the tour with her sister, her twin sister, Janina Kuzma, a few years ago. Janina then pursuing an Olympic pipe career, Maria pursuing an architecture career in New York, both showing that they have got the cultural side as well as the sporting side to the Wanaka family. We're going to drop a wee video just now for you to show you the 5 stops that we have had and will have. We started in Hakuba. The winter began there with an impressive show from from the snowboard men. Travis Rice taking home the win there. Gigi Rüf going huge. We've got iconic riders. Markus Eder throwing down a big run and taking home his first place. I think his first win since 2014 in Italy.
Yeah, and then of course here we are, Kicking Horse BC. Time to get rowdy. We're having a look at Logan Pehota throwing it down last year for the first place run on the ski men's side.
Yeah, that's right. Huge airs going down. Fever Run will be no change. It is a huge season over there in the Tyrol. They are having an incredible time, and we're going to go and join them in a couple of weeks.
And then straight to the Pyrenees, we're going to Andorra, and we have seen some iconic action on the face in Ordino Arcolis, and I have no doubt we're going to see it again. It's snowing like crazy there.
That's right. Before the freeride final on Extreme Verbier, the Bec de Ross, the mythical, infamous face, we saw the game get changed last year with a nosebud of 3 from Markus Eder, and that huge run with super fast skiing from Mickael Bimboes. Just another legendary run on that mythical face.
Yeah, so super exciting seeing the way the snowboard women field is developing. We've basically got, you know, a 3-way race right now, 1, 2, 3. Anna Orlova taking it out in Japan, but Manuela and Marion, both of them former world champions, are looking to take back their titles. You know, it's been 2 years for Marion, Manu taking it out last year, and talking to her during face check, she loves this face. There's so many options for the girls to get up there and just really kind of show what they've got. It's compressed though, so it's going to be tricky to lace together enough features to impress the judges.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I think that Manu and Anna are more free ride kind of focused people, and
yeah,
we're going to explain the difference between the criteria. Now we've got 5 great judges for you.
Yeah, of course, we've got Lolo, we've got Bertie, we've got Dion Newport, Laurent Gauthier, Whistler, and Connor Pelton, former rider.
So line score being the most important category. That is a great example from Sam Smoothie, choosing the most difficult way down the mountain to get maximum line score.
Fluidity is the next thing. Where are you going? What are you moving towards? Are you traversing for no reason? It's not just about speed, but speed relative to the terrain you're in.
Control also super important. Athletes need to demonstrate that they're in control at all time. If you get out of control in an area which is exposed, meaning you could fall down and hurt yourself in a significant way, then that will scare the judges and be bad for your score.
And then, of course, air and style. It's the show. It's the showtime. Are you doing tricks off the cliffs? Are you hitting the big airs? Are you going around features? Air and style is the one that we all love to watch.
That's right, and technique, obviously super important. You can't throw runs down like this one from Xavier Delarue on the Beck a couple of years ago without really good technique. So that's what the riders are working on in their spare time, to make sure that when they're not competing, they're ready to compete. They're ready to ski a line that they're 90-95% sure that they can stomp. It's right at the edge of their comfort zone and right up there in the enjoyment zone for us as the viewers.
Absolutely. So like I said, a stacked field in the snowboard women's category. We can go through it here. Manuela Mandl, current world champion. Erika Vikander out of the US. Wakana Hama, our Japanese rookie there. And then Nicole Kelly, local girl from right here.
That's right, representing. She is on the bottle of beer that they brewed specially for this competition at the Whitetooth Brewery. Anna Orlova out of Russia, like we said, just took her first win. Marion Haerty, another podium, this podium machine. And welcome back to Maria Kuzma out of New Zealand. 8 years off after 2011 being on the World Tour. She's back here to entertain now, and we are pretty excited about this show. We got our first riders dropping for you in only a minute or 2. We're pretty excited to get this thing on the road. The sky is bluebird, the snow is good. A little bit wind affected, but we had a good amount of snow with that good amount of wind, so there'll be pockets that are amazing to land in, some blown in areas, and the riders will probably have had to be pretty careful with their line choice because of that.
Yeah, definitely some nerves going around, you know, in the face check as everyone was a little bit unsure how the rocks were going to affect their runs, and then we watched the guides and the forerunners go, and the mood changed instantly. There was a massive plume of smoke coming off. The snow quality was unbelievable, and every one of those riders that I was standing near just went nuts. The stoke level went through the roof, and everyone's like, I can't wait to get up there. They're fired up. And I'm super stoked here and interested, Neil, to see the difference between some of our more freestyle-focused riders versus the pure big mountain specialists. This one kind of lends itself a little bit, I feel, more to the big mountain specialists, but the freestyle riders, if they can fit it in there, they are going to put on an incredible show here on the face.
That's right, and we have a more free ride focused rider in the start gate right now. Manuela Mandl dropping in 30 seconds. The defending World Tour champion. I don't think I've seen her do a trick on the World Tour outside of grabs, but she is such hard and fast technical charger. She gets into the zones that the other girls don't always do, but she didn't do that in Japan. I think she had a little bit of a safe run to get the season started off, and a safe run for her was still a second place. So she'll be looking to up the ante a little bit here today, challenge her free ride focused competitor and friend Anna Orlova, and we'll see, like you said, that's going to be super interesting to see how it compares to our third place 2017
All
title.
All right, Manuela Mandl lighting the fuse on the kicking horse stop of the Freeride World Tour. She is off, starting from the upper start and making her way down that gorgeous snow face. A little bit of cross-loading in the snow there, heading down towards the cornice.
That's right, and that corner's drop bigger than I expected. A nice landing too. That was quite a lot different to last year. So the first rider already showing us that the snow conditions, probably shaped a little bit by the wind, have made this face completely different to how it was before.
Manuela Mandl making her way down the powder field towards some of the more technical features we've seen. This is the first rider, of course, of the day. You can see the tracks left yesterday by the guides and the forerunners.
She is getting into the now with a huge air. Oh, Manu, what a way to start things off, just clearing the rocks. Glad to see that she's riding away from that safely, putting a little bit of a hot tub into the landing, which I think will mean that the judges mark her down on control. But still a huge line from the rider coming out of the start gate first in the beautiful snow. What a way to kick things off.
Yeah, Manu riding her way down the powder field here in the shade at the bottom of the venue. That was absolutely massive. She took her time getting in there. Looked like she was just a touch shorter than she wanted to be, which probably affected the way she landed. As you said, we're going to see the judges definitely notice something like that on the control side of things. But that's a great way to start it off, and it's going to give the other girls in the start a little bit of confidence just for the snow conditions. Yeah,
for sure. The snow is better than I actually expected. I wasn't at the forerunners or at the face check with the forerunners went that you were yesterday, and you said, oh yeah, the vibe went through the roof as soon as someone dropped, and that just happened for me right now. Holy crap, this place looks amazing. The cliffs are big. The takeoffs looks okay. We're a little bit worried they might be a bit sharky, but here we see Manu with her two big airs, stomping the second one. A little bit down on the control like we kind of expected though.
Yeah, just a little short on that. And you know, talking again to some of the riders, they were saying they were quite nervous about what the surface was going to feel like at the takeoffs because we've got a lot of new snow. But unfortunately, well, fortunately, the snow quality is so high, it's so light and dry that now you can't be 100% sure if the takeoffs are going to be sharky. That one looked like it was fine, but she just went in a touch slow and came up a little bit short, but it was huge. So obviously the line score through the roof there for Manu, but the control score a little bit down. We're going to see what the judges have to say about it in their numbers, but definitely looking good to me and a great way to kick off this second Freeride World Tour stop.
That's right. Manu just making her way down to the finish line now. It's a little bit flat, and because it's been so cold here, the snow has been slow. Manu Mandl starting things off with a 60-point run, and that is pretty impressive with, well, I'm not sure if I call it a crash, but certainly not a perfect land. You lose a bit of score for that in your overall points. So the fact that she's on 60 with a lack of control in that landing will probably mean she would have been on 70 or 80 without that.
That's right. So we were talking about, you know, free ride specialist. Now we're looking up at somebody with a background in freestyle. Slope rider Erika Vikander out of Portland is looking to get things going here and throw a little bit of style onto this steep, gnarly venue.
That's right. She's got her tunes going. She's dropping in less than 30 seconds. She's ready for this. I think that we'll probably see a different style of riding from Manu, who she got on the tunes. I can't quite read it on the screen, but I'm sure she'll fill us in later, and she's obviously enjoying it. You can see it's damn cold here. Her hair is pretty much frozen. She's only got a little bit of her face showing, little bits of white on people's faces from a light frostbite over the last couple of days during inspection and riding. So big ups to the athletes for putting themselves through the cold waiting at the start, trying to time it right so they arrive just before they start. And Erika Vikander just about to get on course. I'm excited to see what she's got for us.
I got to say, the temperature, though, has been worth it just based on the quality of the snow. It's keeping it so light and dry, and you could see it when Manu was riding, that smoke trail, the plume just hanging in the air. The light is perfect. The athletes can see everything. Now we've got a great baseline to see from seeing Manu ride there, that conditions are good, and I think we're going to get a big show. All right, Erika Vikander is on course.
Dropping in switch. I heard chat that she was going to go for a half cab at the top, and it looks like she's setting up for that. A half cab, for those that don't know the snowboard lingo, is dropping in switch, which means riding backwards with your unnatural foot forward, coming towards a drop or a lip of some kind and doing a left side 180 off that. She's just done that now. So a half cab off the top, starting things off with a freestyle focus. It's kind of what we're expecting. Yeah,
Erika Vikander now back around to her normal way of riding and just carving up that gorgeous golden BC powder.
That's right. The snow just keeps on getting better as you come further down, and she's really starting to get into the nice powder section now. Similar line to Wakana Hama from last year so far, I believe, with the switch 180 and getting over to the looker's right side with a couple of floaty features lining up this one that was a popular hit last year.
Yeah, Erika making her way in there, running over a little tree there, but not slowing her down at all. kind of finding her way through this tree slalom. The snow is unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun right now. Starting off little sloughs, which is the movement of snow as a reaction from the rider going through, but nothing that would make a snow move to the extent where it could wash someone off a drop, because you want to be careful above exposure like this. She's getting into the nah zone right now.
Yeah, Erika making her way down into the slot, pointing it through, and catching her tip there. Unfortunately for Erika Vikander, just a little bit of a nosedive on the front end of her board, and it put her straight over the bars. She looks like she's okay, though. That's about the softest spot on this whole face that you could land.
Yeah, I think there's been a bunch of slough running into that. The slough before that I was talking about, when the snow had just fallen a day or two ago, it was more able to move and transport itself, especially when people are skiing above it or just naturally, maybe with a little bit of wind. So I think that slough is deposited into that landing there, and maybe it was a little bit of a rollover as she was coming out, meaning her tip got caught underneath it and she did a little front roll. Unfortunately for Erika, that is going to be pretty poor for her score, as you can see in the judging criteria here.
Yeah, we see the air and style up, which definitely makes sense. We saw the half cab off the top. Unfortunately, control getting docked a little bit, as we did see her go down over the bars with the nose catch on the front of her board. Having a look here, she was up off that nugget. Nice clean landing in the powder there, and then making her way through that gorgeous section, and we're going to see her come through. Yeah, just buried the nose there. That sent her straight over the bars, unfortunately, for Erika Vikander.
Deep landing, but coming into that from that side, I think it's not going to treat her that well. 23.33 points, not really in the podium contention today, unfortunately. Big up, so Erika, thank you for your style of riding. It was a pleasure to see Czech snowboarder throwing a half cab off the top there. Saw a 360 from Marion Haerty in the last competition where she unfortunately crashed. But another slope style former rider and current snowboard cross competitor. We have Wakana Hama competing today, starting next.
Check out how hyped she is. She's just frothing to get onto this face. Wakana Hama has been so excited all week long. She just can't wait to get out there. She's been riding pretty much bell to bell every single day before the contest, braving the cold, not caring at all because the snow quality's just been so good. And now here she is at the top of Ozone and ready to put on a show for us.
That's right, Wakana Hama out of Japan. Looking to build on her result from the Japanese stop, looking to get a podium finish. She is dropping in 10 seconds. Wakana Hama. She's a very friendly, lovely person to be around. Showed us some great spots for snowboarding and for eating in Japan. So welcoming her in Canada at the Kicking Horse stop. She is on course.
Wakana Hama dropping out of the A start here and making her way over towards the rider's left. We're going to see if she's going to make it down to the cornice. The cornice is shaped up a little bit differently this year. It's kind of downsloping, whereas last year it was really flat and ledgy. So we'll see if our riders are able to kind of add the freestyle element off it. She's going over to getting into the rocky section here. She's going to find her way down.
That's right, stomping that first landing. Looks a little bit firm in there. Hand goes down, I think, but still riding away from it clean. Wakana making some nice turns as the snow starts to get better. That Black Diamond airbag looks quite big on her. It doesn't look as big on some of the other riders. Black Diamond now one of the safety sponsors. Black Diamond and Peeps providing the safety gear and equipment for the riders as well as the staff of the Freeride World Tour. And Wakana making her way down the main gut here, putting some lovely powder turns in there. That looks like a lot of fun. And coming up to the airs that I think Davey Baird hit last year. Wakana lining it up and going huge, stomping it to her feet. Little bit of a washout in the outrun though.
Yeah, just got pushed up the other wall of the couloir there, the cookie couloir as we've been calling it. But definitely a solid send there for Wakana Hama in that cookies area. Really looking good.
Yeah, wow, that was impressive stuff. Big airs from Manuela Mandl and Wakana Hama so far. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't sure if the Czechs will be hitting those big airs straight out of the gate. You know, it's pretty tough to line it up mentally and be confident you're going to clear those rocks. So pretty long gaps, so huge ups to the three snowboard girls that have ridden so far, because it's been an impressive show, and I think it's just going to keep building.
Yeah, best riders in the world on showcase right here at Kicking Horse Resort in Golden, BC. These guys are throwing it down. So far, we've seen 3 runs go down. We'll see what the judges have to say about Wakana's line and what they thought of it.
As we see the heli shot, it is impressive to see the Purcell Mountains in the Dogtooth range.
All right, so we're seeing the line fluidity air and style up. A little bit of a blip on control and technique as we saw, because she did kind of get rocked into the rider's left side of the couloir there. But it kind of, you know, definitely taking the risk. You got to risk it for the biscuit out here on the Freeride World Tour.
That's right. So score coming in, I think, in the way that 65 points. Wakana Hama leading the pack now. Similar to Manu's run, the way that she went really big was super impressive to see. A little bit of a control issue, but 2 hits, I think, being... Oh, no, Manu had 2 hits as well, but I think they liked the technique of her getting into the steeper section and the main gut of the face. So Wakana Hama, current first place.
Yeah, that was a good one. And we are straight back up to the top. The Loke dog, Nicole Kelly, from right here at Kicking Horse. This is her home resort. Now, we can't say that she gets to practice on this face because this thing is closed to the public until this event is done. And then maybe Nicole will spin back up and start to just lap it, you know, getting prepared for next year. But right now, Nicole Kelly in the gate and dropping in for her run here, Kicking Horse.
Looking to show us what she's got at her local resort. Just like you were saying, this face has been closed permanently for about 8 or 9 years, I think. So after the competition, when it opens up again, it's going to be open for all riders and the public. And Nicole Kelly looking to show us what is possible, taking the same cornice air as Manu, and it's a big one. That is way bigger off the top than I thought. I thought you could almost ski off it, but it's a compulsory large drop.
Yeah, both her and Manu making that one look awesome. And now just in the glory bowl, absolute pow heaven, making her way down towards the features, getting into the bushes here. We'll see what she can find. She looks at this face all day, every day, so she's going to have some sneaky little tricks.
Yeah, she's got some nice tight patterns in there so far. And you can see Manu Mandl's track just left of her and forerunner or a guide's track on the right. So coming to that nice power zone, lining up a pretty steep technical chute. This is going to be a point and fast one. Do you think she'll take it on?
Oh, yeah, I think so. She's going to have to point it here if she wants to get the fluidity points going, or score going. And here she goes, just making her way down, probably till she can see it's all super convex. There she goes. She's found the spot.
Unfortunately, a bit of a side slap on the landing there. Deep snow, tough to land in if you're landing on an angle, so I don't think that's going to be great for Nicole's score, unfortunately. Enjoying the power at the bottom of this, though.
Lining up one more hit here off the bottom corner, a little chip off the bottom. That one is clean, and out she rides into the shade.
On course.
Fire and looking to just replicate the magic she found in Japan. She's making her way down the ridgetop to what we presume is going to be the cornice entry.
Yep, they've got 2 cornice entry possibilities, so going over to the same area as Wakana so far. A little bit more fast and confident to their stomping. Really good control there. Not putting that many turns right now, making sure she stays in control, but maybe a little bit bad for her fluidity. So far, really strong and fast, though. Definitely a lot faster than Wakana was. And Wakana sitting in the top spot, so that's a good sign.
And now Anna Orlova getting into the meat of her line. Another bit of punch front there. The snow it seems to be a little bit tricky for these for these snowboarders to keep it upright. I think, you know, as soon as the nose goes under, we're seeing them just get punched forward a little bit.
Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of a wind crust up near those ridges, so unfortunately that is going to be quite bad for the score of Anna. We're looking to see if she can improve on that, build on that, get some points back. Certainly features left to go, and a precious show of them will bump her score back up and give her a chance for a podium.
Yeah, and going into these zones, Neil, this is exactly what you got to do if you want to recover from a control issue, is get your line score pumping, and right now that's what's going on. The thermometer is moving up as Anna Orlova into a seriously technical section of this ozone face.
Yeah, impressive line score, but low fluidity with the traversing. As you're saying, you need to be riding quickly compared to the terrain you're in, so it's okay to be a bit slower in this steeper, more technical terrain with a big drop out the bottom. But stomping that drop, though, nice one from Anna. Way to finish it off.
Anna flying down through the glory section of the powder here. We were wondering if it was going to be a little bit of a tricky transition from that bright, bright light on the face, as this thing is south-facing, you know, so the sun's obviously hitting it straight away in the morning and then into the shady section. But so far, the riders having no trouble with that bit.
Yeah, that's right. Really impressive to see from the snowboard girls. It's been a great show so far. I can't believe the amplitude of the airs that they're taking on. This is really serious stuff. They're going huge.
Yeah, definitely excited to see. We're going to just have a look here at the criteria. So line score looking good. Down on the you know, yellowy orange side through the other categories, which makes sense. As you said, the fluidity, even though she went into that really technical section, you know, it's hard for the fluidity score to bump up when you are stopping and side flipping.
That's right. Unfortunately, catching the nose, taking a tumble high up, but this bottom air, stomping it.
So 35 points for Anna Orlova. That's going to drop her into 4th spot, and we are not going to see a repeat winner on the Freeride World Tour in the women's snowboard category this time.
That's right. So 4th place at the moment for Anna Orlova, not in podium contention. Nicole Kelly sitting in 3rd, 41. Manu and Wakana in the 60s. So we only have 2 riders left, I believe. And there's a possibility for the people that are on the podium to remain there. And there's only a guaranteed podium for Wakana Hama, but a guarenteed podium for the Japanese rider.
That's right. And looking here at the B start, we haven't seen any riders drop from there. Definitely looking extremely rowdy up there. Riders needing to wear... oh, and we are seeing Marion Haerty dropping out of that B start.
First rider from the B start today, making sure that you can get to the lookers right, riders left. There was a more popular start from here last year, so first person to go here today, and we'll see how the snow conditions are. It looked a little bit more wind affected, so I think that's part of the reason not as many riders have gone there so far.
Marion making her way across this super bony traverse, getting into the far skiers left, riders left section, and then we've got the T-bone chipping off the corner straight to her feet, and now this is the part of her run that she is going to absolutely love.
That's right, lining up the same era as Erika Vikander, I believe. Stomping that one too, going a little bit different angle off that. Maybe she's got a different feature lined up down the bottom. Skiing really fast, riding really fast down here.
Yeah, Marion Haerty now heading towards this bottom section. This is the bit that gave Erika a little bit of trouble. We'll see if Marion is able to slide through there with a little bit more ease, kind of getting hung up.
A little bit sharky in there, unfortunately. It's been a bit of side slipping for both of the girls.
Yeah, looking right now like Marion's just going to try to muscle through here.
Yeah, I think that it's not as nice as it might have looked in inspection, and they're both really strong riders and having a bit of a tough time getting down. So, staying on her feet, yeah, impressive.
She's through clean, so we're gonna see probably a little bit of a fluidity dock there because she did get a little bit hung up, but she stayed on her feet top to bottom, which is going to be, I think, that's going to be to her benefit. Yeah. We'll see what the judges thought of it.
So all positive on the judging criteria. The fluidity could have been higher, I think, but it was still reasonably good. She was pretty fast between the features, though. Remember how she rid from Vikander's air. This is the T-bone air we're just seeing now, but from Vikander's air to Vikander's bottom section, they ski quite similar lines there. And I think she was faster, so that was helpful for her fluidity before she managed to muscle her way through here, like you said. Score coming up. Is she in podium contention? I suspect she might be.
That was a battle for Marion to get through there, but she persevered and managed to come out on her feet, which is, I think, at this stage of the game, about the most critical thing. So big props to Marion for getting out of there, standing on her feet. And 71.33, we have a new leader and a former world champion taking her swing at taking this event out here. There, Marion Haerty doing it for the French crew.
That's right. So Marion Haerty, 2 podiums lined up now. She is the second to last rider, so the worst that she can do is come second. So she might have a first and a third, or a second and a third. And I think that since Anna had a first and Manu had a second and now is sitting in second at the moment. It's going to be a tight
That
race
is
up there.
Complicated. We're going to let the wizards in the back room take care of the math for us. But these ladies. So this is our last rider, Maria Kuzma out of New Zealand. She is in the gate. She is ready, looking excited. She's stoked for this venue. She likes it. She feels like it kind of feels like home for her, except for the cold.
That's right. Maria Kuzma on course. She's spent a bunch of time in Canada before, I believe, and she is looking excited to be here. Flying from Japan to Austria for a photo shoot and then to Canada. I think she was happy that the competition didn't happen on the first possible day. She should get over a jet lag.
This is a great view of that cornice. As you said, it was a little bit better, or a little bit bigger, sorry, than it looked looking at it from face on. So we're going to see Maria making her way down, slightly wind-affected top section, and then straight off the cornice. Bit of a punch front there.
Unfortunate. You can see a little bit of avalanche debris littered around the area she landed. I think it might be a little bit of a sign of inconsistent snow, maybe a bit of a crust. But charging now, riding fast, enjoying that power, oiling off everything that she can get near. Here as well, putting in a shifty too. She's obviously here to charge.
Oh yeah, and through this glory section, this aspect of the face has been wind loaded all week long, and you can see the result of it now is just this perfect snow conditions. Yeah. Heading her way down past the fingers here and making her way through into the lower section. Oh, big slash turn there for Maria.
Maria's a surfer as well, and you can see that influence in her snowboarding. It is such a pleasure to watch, slashing that power, making the most of it, just showing how much fun you can have down here.
And gonna catch one more little hit here off the bottom, landing next to Wakana's track. And
I think that was Nicole Kelly.
Sorry, that was Nicole's track.
Yeah.
And down into the powder to finish it off. That's going to wrap up our snowboard
back,
women.
Maria. Wow, what a show. What a show.
All right, so Aaron's style, technique, and line sitting in the good, and fluidity and control are a little bit below that 50% line. Kind of makes sense what we saw, solid line, nice air off the top cornice. Unfortunately, going over the bars and then kind of recovering to finish strong.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think it is going to challenge for the top of the podium today, but it's been pretty tight in the mid scores for the girls, so we'll see how that does. But yeah, congratulations to Marion Haerty. Second stop, first win, second podium. Maria's just making her way to the bottom now. As we're saying, it's been so cold that the snow has been a bit slow. Maria Kuzma, 50 points, fourth. Not too bad at all. Welcome back. 4th out of 7. It's straight in the middle of the pack. Good way to set yourself up for the rest of the season. Maria Kuzma taking her 4th here today behind the first 3 riders on the podium. We have defending from the 2017 World Champ, Marion Haerty, 2nd place, Wakana Hama, and Manuela Mandl.
Yeah, and then rounding out the field there, Maria Kuzma, Nicole Kelly, the local rider, Anna Orlova out of Russia, and Erika Vikander. That is going to do it for the 7 women's snowboard rider. And now we're going to take a look at our overall rankings right now.
As we see the beautiful ozone face starting to get a couple of tracks in it, I think it is going to be pretty cut up by the end of the day. But don't let that stop you coming to riding it tomorrow. Marion Haerty, overall win, overall lead right now.
Yeah, slim margin there over Manuela Mandl. Anna Orlova dropping back from 1st to 3rd with this result. But, this battle is going to go back and forth all year long because all 3 of those ladies are definitely looking to wrap up the title here at the end of the season.
That's right. 3 results out of 4 is what counts. We've only had 2 stops so far. There's a long way to go, but got a heavy hitting field there lining up for the championship contention, take home the Freeride World Tour title.
So, of course, our next group here at the top, ready to throw it down here on the ozone face, are our ski women. They are excited. They have picked out some great lines, and they're pretty stoked to show what they've got here on the ozone face. Rowdy, 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 rowdy. We saw it go down. Arianna Tricomi just throwing it down, getting rowdy straight into it, and then, of course, what has become her signature move, the RE3.
Maude Besse, first year on the tour, World Tour rookie, taking home 2nd in her first ever competition, getting into the technical right side of the bottom of the venue, and hopefully the only rider to do that and getting some great snow as a reward.
And then the Swiss rider, Elisabeth Gerritzen, getting super technical, keeping it ultra smooth in all the way down and landing herself on the podium.
That's right, and Hedvig Wessel, World Tour wildcard, rookie rider out of Norway, former mogul skier, throwing a huge backflip to get things started in style on the Freeride World Tour. So,
what a battle. What a battle developing on the women's side. All of those girls are just fired up to get on this thing. So we're going to take a look at the field we've got. It's absolutely stacked with talent here on the women's side in the ski field.
That's right. We've got some really heavy hitters here. Ayana Onozuka just came back from her last, I believe, X Games stop in the halfpipe and straight onto the Freeride World Tour. Welcome here. Jackie Pollard out of the USA qualifying through the FWQ last year. Arianna Tricomi defending World Tour champ. Maude Besse charger out of Verbier. Hazel Birnbaum, the super solid USA skier. What a field.
Yeah, the Swiss rider, Elisabeth Gerritzen, she wants to be on the podium again. Of course, no stranger to the podium. Jacqueline Paaso, she is here to win. She definitely has a big plan going out there. Juliette Willmann, she's looking to secure her spot here. And then the wild card, Hedvig Wessel, bringing the freestyle to the big mountain. She's everywhere she goes. She's looking for a place to do a trick because her bag of tricks is deep.
That's right. And Juliette, actually, his last name is Willmann. Willmann is my last name. And someone asked me if she was my wife, but she is not. She is a ripping skier, and she is representing out of France, unfortunately, with an ankle injury that she sustained in Chamonix between the Hakuba stop and here. But the level of free ride and freestyle combining on the ski woman now is crazy. We saw so many tricks in Hakuba.
Yeah, Hakuba was the ultimate blending of free riding and freestyle. I'll be curious to see if we see as much freestyle influence on this venue. It's definitely a little bit tricky with the just how steep it is, basically, and how compressed the features are together. But right now, we are ready to drop for ski women. Ayana Onozuka is on course.
That's right. Ayana, a former halfpipe skier, and when I say former, I'm talking about a couple of weeks ago. She was competing at the X Games. She has now retired from that. That was her last competition in the pipe. I believe she has had a couple of head injuries and got a little bit tired of that and decided to get into freeriding instead, starting things off with a stylish shifty off the corners. Obviously has some freestyle maneuvers in her background. After crashing the FWT stop in Hakuba, I think she's got something to prove.
Oh yeah, and she is showing her technique here. This is excellent skiing. You know, that lateral displacement, legs are way out to the side, bending the ski, and absolutely rallying through the powder here. This looks spectacular.
Fast. This is a pleasure to see. Going to be really good for the control, fluidity, and technique categories, but she needs to bump up the line score in the air and style as she comes straight into the section that we saw two of the snowboard girls get into. Looked a bit bony once they'd been there, and see if she can make it as quick as I think she wants to, because you need to be quick through the section to get the maximum points of control and fluidity. Lining up a big air off it and stomping, but going front flipping out of it. Front punch, as we call it there. Why does that happen, Derek?
Well, unfortunately, when you land with your body balance directly over your feet and your feet punch into the snow, the resistance of the snow slows your feet down and your body carries right over the top. And the next thing that happens is your face is in the snow, unfortunately. That was such a good run there for Wakana, and she managed to keep herself from getting stuck, which was great. You know, we saw some of the snowboarders getting stuck in there. She just took it right off the nose. So look at the line, fluidity, air and style technique, all looking good in the green. Control, of course, a little bit down because she did go over the bars there on the landing.
That's right. So that is a front punch. That is a stage 4 landing. You know, your skis are off the ground. It's not what you want. Coming with 30 points, but big ups, Ayana Onozuka. Coming back from the X Games between the Hakuba stop and the kicking horse stop here in Golden, BC. Ayana Onozuka doing impressive stuff to show us what she's got.
So back up to the top, out of Alta, Utah, Jacqueline Pollard. She qualified out of the FWQ last year. She won the FWQ. That's what you got to do these days to get on tour. You got to win it. And Jacqueline took it out, and she is here. She's about the most excitable athlete that I've ever met. She absolutely loves this. She gets fired up. Jacqueline Pollard, a former junior world champion. She took the junior world's title in Andorra. The first year the event was there, and she's just been rallying it ever since. And now she's here on tour right where she belongs.
That's what, yeah, exactly what you're saying. She is on course. She is the winner of the FWQ in the Americas, where you have to be the winner in Eurasia or the winner in the Americas. You fight hard to get here, and I'm stoked to have her along.
Jacqueline making her way down the top of the ridge, heading down to the cornice. And we're going to see her probably arc a bit of a left turn here and pump off there. Nice, strong start. The wind is loaded in this side of the face. It looks a little bit scoured, but the surface is actually super soft. And you can see Jacqueline really looking like she's enjoying herself.
That's right. Getting over to the same air as Anna Orlova, but managed to get a bit of a better landing on that, a little bit with this wind effect that looks a bit variable, but Jackie making no meal of it, just sending it straight down across court air, taking it huge!
With the double. Oh, that is what we're here to see. She is going to be so fired up. She definitely didn't have the results she was looking for in Hakuba, and that is what she wanted to show the world here.
Holy damn. Like you said, she didn't ski to her potential in Hakuba, and it's amazing to see that. That was so solid and fast.
Boom, all green, all criteria in the green. Jacqueline Pollard doing exactly what she wanted to do. She hit her plan perfectly. Coming in here, she puts it into the fall line, takes it straight down, and look, there's a moment to balance there before that turn comes around. That's what we coach the kids. That's what we want to see. And then Jacqueline, oh, I got a cliff. Great, fantastic. No, she's going to stand on that left foot and send it right off the next one, too. That was a spectacular run from Jacqueline Pollard.
That was amazing to see. Jacqueline Pollard, the sister of Andrew Pollard, who also qualified through the FWQ in the Americas last year. She is looking at a good score right now. I would not be surprised if she is right up there at the end of the day.
Jacqueline Pollard, 76.67. She is the current leader, and I can say confidently that's the best run she's done on the Freeride World Tour this year.
That's right. In all of the 2 competitions, she is looking pretty stoked right now. Like you said, she's an excitable athlete, great person to have around, big smile on her face right now, and it's great to see.
Absolutely frothing. You can see the killer whale there on her ski, her spirit creature.
Out of breath, excited, stoked. It's such a crazy difference between the start gate and the finish line, isn't it?
Oh, especially when you've done a run like that. She's just going to be frothing for the rest of the day right now.
That's right.
So we're heading back up to the start. Look at the peaks surrounding surrounding Kicking Horse right now. Okay, Neil, Arianna Tricomi, current leader. She's won 2 in a row. She is in the start gate, and she wants to throw it down right now. Arianna Tricomi on course.
That's right. A win here would be 3 in a row. I haven't really seen that from many people in any category. So, Ari, have you got that for us today? I wonder if we'll see a 360 off this corner here at the top.
She was contemplating it yesterday, but she didn't like the takeoff. She thought it was a little too downsloping, so she was trying to find another place to 3, asking pretty much anyone who would listen where we thought she could do a 360. I got a little hung up there, but luckily she is pretty much a cat, so managing to push through that shark attack and make her way over here to the high traverse.
Yeah, the snow is a little bit variable back there, and I think it's still a bit wind affected where she is because it's out on the ridge. The wind scours it a little bit more, but I think it blows the snow over to the looker's right side from where she's skiing at the moment and load it up to make some nice skiing and stompable snow from some big airs. I don't think the judges will be docking too much points for that lack of speed through that rocky section. It's all about what she does after this point.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only way you can get through there, so everybody understands it. Arianna taking it right off the T-bone there, straight to the middle, and making her way now down through this sort of open powder tree section. Boom, right off the middle of that one, in the bomb hole, but no problem for her.
Stomping it clean. Ari's such a solid skier. Skiing on some big skis, actually. She skis on big skis every day just to get used to them for competition riding and filming and all the fun things that she does. And now lining up the same year as Ayana Onozuka and stomping it.
Clean. Arianna Tricomi is out the bottom on her feet clean. That's the way you take that feature. You got to put it into the fall line higher up to keep yourself from getting tangled up tip and tail the way, because it's so concave there. If you sidestep a little too far down, you basically put yourself in a stuck situation.
Exactly, taking off from a bit higher and giving yourself a better landing, almost going over the front there on the T-bone here.
Loving the technique here, her technique and control through the roof, and with good technique and control come all the other categories. Arianna Tricomi showing why she is the reigning world champion and why she's won 2 events in a row.
That's right, putting together 3 solid airs there, which is really impressive. I don't think any of the other athletes have put 3 big airs together yet, so Ari, great scoping and rewarded with 73.67.
73.67, so that's going to slot her into second place. Jacqueline Pollard holding it down on the ski women's side right now. We're going to be right back up to the top, though. We are not messing around here. We're going to be looking at the Swiss rider, Maude Besse, getting ready to do her thing. Riders at the top, they're going through their mental preparation. You know, they're doing their breathing exercises. They're trying to stay focused on what they got to do. Maude Besse has already had to traverse to that B start, which in itself is a bit of a scary proposition.
That's right. Maude Besse up at start 2, start B, the slightly lower one, but the part that allows you to get to the looker's right, skier's left of the venue. You need harness, carabiners, and slings to get there, which it's no small feat. You know, you're hiking with your skis on your back. You're trying to focus on your competition run and the scary stuff you're about to do, and getting a harness on to do some pseudo rock climbing on the way is pretty tough.
Just a little light mountaineering before your free ride run begins. Maude Besse ready to go. So she was a wild card this year, and proving the wild card right by finishing second in Hakuba is, she's looking to repeat that. She's looking to find that magic again, find the spark. First skier we've seen drop from the B start.
That's right. Maude Besse getting ready to go. the athletes are able to start from anywhere along that ridge. You can see there's another athlete standing up closer to the other flag. And you can start from anywhere you like there. Maude Besse coming from just between the guides.
And kicking things off here through the pepper, Maude Besse heading straight over to the same traverse that we saw Arianna go through. As you said, no real penalty in fluidity for getting through there, although there could be a benefit because she went through there quick.
That was good, actually. That was faster than Ari. I'm not sure how much that's going to make a difference in the overall score, and she's gone a little bit smaller off that air than Ari did. So I think that so far they're comparable, but really solid, fast, and smooth skiing from Maude. So we'll see what else she's got.
Taking that one a little bit deeper and lining it up. Look at the control there. Getting onto that downhill ski. No speed going that she didn't mean to do. And carrying down here. This is fantastic technique from Maude Besse right now. That's
right. Putting a grab into that last air as well, which we haven't seen so much, I think, from any of the previous riders so far today. And taking it huge off that one. But unfortunately, bomb holding there. Getting a bit of slough coming down on herself as well. I think she's okay. Wow, Maude Besse.
Look at the distance from where she took off to where she landed. That is a massive air for Maude Besse and hot tubbing into the landing.
Whoa. Maude Besse, take a bow. Hope you can find the rest of your gear. It looks like you're missing at least one ski. I can see that one. I don't know if you're missing the other one or not. But taking that off the absolute nose. Low on control, unfortunately, of course. But air and style is pretty high for going so massive.
Good to see that wave. That wave is kind of the rider's signal to everyone around the film crew, the events workers, the security crew, that she's actually all right. But of course, she's probably feeling a little bit bummed right now, and probably a massive surge of adrenaline as she just sent it right off the nose of the peloton there.
Yeah, that's right. Putting the wee safety grab in there, and like you said, great technique and speed control coming off that second air.
Just getting a little forward there, and it looked like she might have taken her knees up into her head there as she landed. She was just a touch forward, and with the snow being that deep, your feet stop instantly. There's not a lot of forward momentum. That was a lot of down momentum. That's going to be a tricky one with the snow being as deep as it is for these riders to stomp, I think.
I don't think it was so much of a transition there either. A tranny is a steep landing, which is easier to land on because of the angle that you're taking off at. Downhill takeoff there and flat landing, making it tough for Maude Besse.
Right back up to the top out of California. Hazel Birnbaum getting ready to throw it down here on the ozone face, Kicking Horse Mountain Resort in Golden, BC. Hazel.
Such a solid skier. Her run in the Hakuba restaging Kicking Horse stop last year was just such a pleasure to watch. So different venue from that one. She did super well in that run, and I think she'd like to do well on this venue too, charging down from the A start, the higher one towards the windlet.
Down into the corners, chipping off there. Great speed here. Hazel looking like she means business as she comes over onto this flank of the face here. Like we said, the wind has kind of deposited the snow in here, making her way into the same zone as Jacqueline Pollard, stomping that one and arcing out, trying to get over into the cookie cooler, I think.
Yeah, super strong, really fluid, great technique. I mean, the line score so far not super high, so she needs to complement her achievements in the other judging categories with a couple more line features. Getting over into the Mirage now and taking a double through there like it's nothing, charging out with so much speed. Getting the line score up at the end of the line rather than the start as some of the other riders have. But overall, I think that's going to be a good one.
That was super smooth for Hazel. She went in there as though, as of course, she obviously knew, or sorry, she completely knew where she was going. Hazel keeping it fluid and smooth, and like you said, showing that great technique.
Doubling down through that pepper field. That's not easy to do, folks. If you want to come and try.
You can see there on the run out of that, we had some earlier avalanches from Avalanche Control that deposited some slough in there, and she managed to just handle it. Strong legs, strong feet, and obviously great technique.
That's right. So all of the judging criteria are positive, but not as high as we've seen some of the other riders. So I'll be interested to see how the score does. I don't think it'll trouble first place, but it could be right up there.
Yeah, great skiing on a slightly mellow line. Hazel's going to be happy about that. She said she was going to take it a little bit easy. She didn't want to risk it all here, but I think she's pretty much skied right to her plan, which is exciting for any athlete. 65.33, dropping Hazel Birnbaum into third spot currently.
That's right. We are just over halfway through the riders now, and you're sitting on the podium. So maybe podium finish, maybe not. We've got a lot of heavy hitters yet to come, so I think it'll be tough to maintain that position. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. The girls have really been charging, and it's kind of getting to the stage where it's like they're putting down runs that it's, you know, you podium or you crash, and see what happens there.
That's right. So we are back up to start to the mountaineering start. We're looking at Swiss rider Elisabeth Gerritzen. She's going to get ready to bring the heat out of the second start here. Elisabeth Gerritzen making her way onto the face. A nice little pop off the top.
That's right, heading over to the same area as we saw Arianna Tricomi and Maude Besse get into. Good friend of Maude Besse rides with her a bunch out of Verbier, so I wonder if they've scoped a line together.
Yeah, right into the T-bone and straight off the nose, looking super strong here for Elisabeth Gerritzen. She loves the steeps. This is basically what she lives for, what she skis every day.
Really powerful so far, hitting, I think, pretty much the same line as Arianna Tricomi off both of those ears, maybe even a little bit bigger. Could be easier because there's a track to follow, but at the same time, it's powerful skiing.
Yeah, we're looking smooth here, and she is making her way down into that same zone as we saw, and on the Arianna Tricomi side of things, but getting, around the other side, super creative line there, bumping over the rocks and arcing it out of there.
Super fast. Look how there's so many turns by the other tracks and just one big swoop from Elisabeth. I wonder if she came into the top of that and saw how tracked out it was. I wonder if she saw that there was bony and rocky and maybe even had some intel that the other riders had trouble down there and decided to go fast and fluid rather than get stuck in the steep technical stuff.
Yeah, you can see, you know, control, technique, air and style, everything on the green side there, and line and fluidity looking good. She was able to keep her fluidity up by choosing to go that direction. Whether it was kind of game time decision, you know, only she knows, but we're going to find out later.
So managed a couple of airs in there though. Fourth at the moment, 60.67, so not at the moment able to knock Hazel Birnbaum off the podium. Third and fourth, very consistent so far from Elisabeth Gerritzen this season, skiing to her strengths.
And we are straight back up. Look at this day we've got here in Golden. It's unbelievable. The snow is just gorgeous, and basically perfect sunshine. The skier women are throwing it down on this face right now.
That's right. And speaking of people that throw down, Jaclyn Paaso is the next one in the gate. She has just thrown some huge, huge lines, airs, and now flips over the last couple of years. Her fifth ever backflip being her attempt in the competition in Hakuba a couple of weeks ago. Haven't seen any tricks from the girls today, as you predicted, actually.
Yeah, it was so cool talking to Jackie about that flip. She just said, that looked like a jump that I should flip. And I think that's kind of just sums up the spirit of freeride. She saw something she wanted to do, she went for it, and she felt good about it after. So she's making her way across the rocky traverse, and a quick right, and finding a bigger air than we've seen in that zone yet. Jacqueline Paaso, she is here to take care of business right now.
That's right, the American now skiing out of Åre, Sweden, married to Reine Barkered. She is showing that she has got good practice on the firmer snow that they sometimes get up here. There's variable snow at the top here, but now enjoying the powder coming down into the peloton, which we named the peloton both in honor of Connor Pelton hitting it last year and the amount of people we thought were going to hit it this year. Going into Maude Besse's tracks, but different angle, maybe a better tranny. Oh, no.
Absolutely sending it there, Jackie. I think she may have snagged a bit of a rock on the takeoff, but look how far she traveled. Jackie went massive there. Looking like she's moving around. Just going to take a sec to assess.
Hope Jackie's okay. She's moving around. If she does not give more of a wave, I think we'll have someone coming down to her. We've got people at the ready at all times, people to retrieve skis, people to give medical treatment, safety, and doctors. We've got all of the staff here to look after our athletes. So Jackie starting to move around. Not sure whether she's given enough of a signal that she's okay for someone not to come down. So we might have someone coming down to give her a hand, whether it's retrieve a ski or make sure she's all right. She's definitely moving, which is a good start. Good to see, but I think we're going to send someone to make sure that she is definitely okay. Helicopter circling around. That is a helicopter-mounted camera getting some great shots today. But right now, our concern is certainly with Jackie. And
yeah, she's up and moving around, just kind of assessing things, making sure she can collect all her gear there. That was on its way to being a spectacular run there for Jaclyn Paaso.
That's right.
You know, she never leaves the start gate without winning on her mind, and she's done it enough times that we know that she's capable on any venue.
Yeah.
And that was just absolutely classic Jackie. She's got that massive send in her DNA. It's what she wants to do. And so looking at this face, she's like, well, where's the sickest thing? All right, that's where I'm going. And she definitely did that here today.
Big ups, Janky. Thanks for putting on the show. Looks like she's hiking to try and retrieve something, maybe a pole. Think she might have found it. Yep, both her skis are below her, so just grabbing that pole back, and it looks like she's going to be okay. I'm not sure whether she has someone coming down to help her out or not, but it looks like she's going to be fine. Maybe a little bit sore, and fair enough after an air that size, but good to see that Jackie is getting her stuff together and probably making her way down to the finish line. Seems like she has all her equipment now, so yeah, Jackie, glad you're okay. Thanks for putting on such an amazing show. I think that was the same angle that Connor Pelton took it when he hit it last year. Maybe she's looking to find that tranny that he hit. Yeah,
well, you know, we named it after him for a reason. Jaclyn Paaso definitely, and really all the women so far, the level of riding that we're seeing here is pretty much off the charts. The girls are throwing down. Everybody wants to stand on the podium, and in order to do it, you're going to have to do something spectacular.
Yeah, it's got to that stage now. I kind of regret when I said before I wasn't sure if I expected Gil to hit a certain air or a certain line, and I just want to take that right back. I just want to say I don't expect or not expect anything from any category anymore. Like, you're just blowing my mind so consistently over the last couple of years that like anything could happen.
Oh yeah, and everyone in this category, every one of these women wants to stand on the top of the box here and at the end of the season, and they know with how stacked the field is, that's just the way you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to go for it. Juliette Willmann, right now in the gate out of France, looking to put her stamp on this event. As you said, nursing a bit of a sore ankle. We're going to see how, she said it's only one run. I know I can push through it.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe even on painkillers and maybe even with a brace, but not letting it hold her back from taking on an air straight out of the gate. Look at that technique from the young French girl. She is just such a ripper.
Yeah, she's come to this world out of ski racing, so we're going to see super solid technique, and you can see she's also not afraid of speed. Putting it into the fall line there, chipping off the side. That's already 2 features. We got that thermometer, you know, for the judges is already moving into the hot zone for Juliette right now.
That's right. All riders start at 50 coming out of the gate and go up or down depending on how they perform. And Juliette performing super well so far, showing blatant disregard for the local trees.
Yeah, getting a couple face shots there. I mean, the name of this free ride game is fun and good skiing. And this part of the venue, the riders can just show their sort of joy in the skiing that they're doing. Now she's making her way over to the side angle in the Pelton. She's seeing a couple tracks.
Great snow.
Now she's taking it on a slightly different angle as she gets off the side there and into the punch front as well. It's deeper there than I think everybody gave it credit for. People were worried about it not being deep enough to take the big airs, but I think we're kind of seeing it go the other way.
Yeah, so filled in. I think the trannies are flatter than the riders expected as well. He had to get the angle exactly right to get a steep enough landing to ride out of that. Otherwise, you're going to end up front punching. So unlucky for Juliette. Good run on an injury and only down on the control. All the other judging criteria is being in the positive. They like the rest of her run. Yeah,
the fluidity didn't really get docked there with that roll. She barely even slowed down. I love the way she hit this one and then the way she moved into this next feature, just taking it kind of off this lower ledge, super clean, and finding a clean landing, which is at this stage of the contest is starting to be key.
Yeah, exactly. Skiing so strong for someone with an injury. Juliette coming with just over 50 points. So the moves that she did gave her positive scores. The lack of control falling in that last landing giving her a negative score. Overall, the judges were happy with if she just ski down really fast and controlled and smooth, probably about the same. So nice run from someone with an injury. Welcome back, Juliette. Glad you can make it after crashing sham between the Huckabee stop and now.
And rolling the dice on that last feature, but we're going to go back up to our wild card. Hedvig Wessel out of Norway threw down that fat backflip in Hakkaba. You know she's got the freestyle skills. She competed on the World Cup in moguls, but she is now at the Freeride World Tour, and she is at the gnarly mountaineering start there. Start number 2. Hedvig Wessel dropping in to start her campaign.
That's right, getting over to the same air as we just saw Juliette getting off and taking it a little bit bigger, maybe easier because there's a track to follow that gives you more speed off the takeoff. But anyway, she has started off with a bit of a send. I wonder if she'll find that same air that we saw coming off. Was it Jackie that hit that?
It was. She does, yeah.
Does. Oh, no. Hedvig, I'm really gutted to see that. That was lining up to be such a sick line, just looking so fast and smooth and controlled. I think that sometimes when you try and stomp 4-point, if you kind of get a little bit caught, then you go over the front, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looked like just one of her skis or one of her feet got snagged. We'll get another look at it at the replay, but her ski is definitely well above her. This one may require a ski. Yeah, she's calling for a ski runner. That ski is a little too high for her. And I think being the conscientious competitor that she is, she doesn't want to boot pack all the way back out there in case other people are going to hit that line later.
That's right. She went for a bit of a tumble. It seems like she's okay. I'm glad she is. It was quite close to a rock. But judges' criteria already coming in. It will be a no score because of her loss of a ski. If you lose your ski or take off your snowboard to hike out of an area, then that is a no score. You don't even register on the points range, unfortunately, because I was super excited to see the rest of Hedvig's run.
There's her ski. So we are looking at the rookie, Jacqueline Pollard, topping out the podium here. Arianna Tricomi backing up her win with a second place, and Hazel Birnbaum sitting in third place. Unofficially, of course, so that is what we're looking at for our top three here in the ski women's field here at Kicking Horse.
That's right. Elisabeth Gerritzen, Juliette Willmann, Onozuka all having minor falls but not losing a ski, so ending in the top 6, and the others all joint 9th with losing a ski. So what does that do for our overall ranking? Arianna Tricomi solid first by almost over 1,000 points. Elisabeth Gerritzen second, super solid and consistent, as I was saying. Jackie Pollard, your former pupil maybe, or at least
not
countryman.
mine, but she was a junior while I was coaching. Jacqueline jumping way up the ladder there, and Hazel Birnbaum, couple of stars and stripes there up high, and then Maude Besse, Juliette, Hedvig, Ayana, Jaclyn Paaso, and that's going to kind of wrap up the field as we don't have Eva here. So looking, things are starting to get a little bit interesting there for second and third. Arianna definitely taking a big bite of points out of this right now with the first and second already.
Huge. That was an impressive show from the ski woman. Snowboard men coming up. Snowmen, snowboard men next up on the Ozone. Rowdier. We've got the guys coming right at you. Here we have Gigi Rüf after his memorable run in Hakuba, stomping 2 huge airs, putting in tricks as well. It was impressive stuff to see. Look at the stomp legs on that guy. Wowza. Straight into other features too.
And always one to watch, Davey Baird, the Alaskan master, starting right where he left off last year. Smooth, stylish, and ultra technical, landing himself on the podium.
Sammy Luebke, the defending World Tour champion, not super stoked with his run in Hakuba, but never wants to discount. He is just so smooth, solid, and stylish. Look at those grabs that he puts in and how fast he rides.
Sammy is fired up. Of course, Victor De La Rue, the exciting wild card. You never quite know what you're going to get. He's, we've seen him in the film parts. We're so stoked to see what he's going to do on this face.
Who will take the lead? We have seen a couple of lead changes, I believe, in the snowboard woman, but not the ski woman. We'll see if our snowboard men current leader can hang on to that, which is kind of Gigi Rüf. Travis Rice was competing in the last stop, but not this one. So it kind of opens things up to this start list we have here.
That's right. And Blake Ham dropping first again, as he did in Japan. Sammy Luebke, Thomas Verschneen, who we haven't seen ride yet. Davey Baird, we know what he's capable of. Of course, Gigi Rüf, the style master.
That's right. Jonathan Penfield, Kristofer Galvin backing it up. The freeride riders out of the States, and before Victor De La Rue and Ludovic Guillot-Diat, the French riders, rounding out the field today as a very dominated field by only 3 countries, the snowboard start list.
Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes in some of these fields that can happen. You might get a crop of guys or riders coming through the FWQ all at the same time, and they battle it out and they bring each other up. And what you end up with is an FWT start list that looks like this, with basically the who's who of riding. And as you said, it's kind of wide open. Gigi and Davey Baird, they're sitting pretty kind of in the top spot just based on the points they've got. Travis Rice is not here. He threw down that, I could only call it iconic. Basically, his run in Japan looked like a film line to me. but he only got one shot at it, and he certainly took it and ran. So we are 1 minute out from dropping in with our snowboard men's field here at Kicking Horse.
Absolutely. And Travis being invited to compete on the rest of the Freeride World Tour, unfortunately unable to make it due to other commitments, but very gracious in his declination of that. Very gracious in his props to the riders for how hard they work to get onto the tour and to stay on the tour. And it was really amazing to watch how much effort he puts into scoping his line. We did the Audi Quattro performance check with him after the last event.
Yeah, that was something that young up-and-coming riders, whether they're on the junior tour or on the FWQ, should really sit down and study, because Travis's words there were wise. He knows what he's looking at. He knows how to do this, and I thought he explained it really well, really concisely, in a way that every rider, even I'm sure some of these other tour riders, can really benefit from listening to the master.
Absolutely. And our first rider on course today, Blake Ham. Black Ham, they call him, throwing down a huge backflip, also the first out of the gate in Hakuba, and just putting on a huge show there. Just like Manuela Mandl, the first competitor out of the gate in the snowboarders today, throwing down a huge air. And Blake, what has he got for us today? He looks pretty psyched, pushing on out of the start gate, getting across the wind-affected snow at the top on his way to the lovely powder down lower.
Yeah, Blake making his way up here from Solitude in Utah, looking forward to a bit of a Canadian show here, getting into the biggest part of the corner, so I'm hoping he's not going to pump off into that debris, but I don't think he is. He knows where he is exactly. Blake Ham.
Dropping in switch. Yeah, half cab, just like Erika Vikander. Getting over straight into that powdery section. He knows he wants to get into those spines.
Oh yeah, this is the first rider we've seen in this section. This section, Neil, wasn't really in play last year, as it was basically just all covered. But this time, giving the riders the opportunity to show some action here. Blake Ham making his way off that first one.
And now towards the Rodney zone. The golden rod, this got sent off the very top by George Rodney last year. Unfortunately, unsuccessfully, but Blake looking to turn it into a double, and doing so successfully. Really nice.
Blake Ham is going to be happy with that. Oh, and he's not done. He's heading over for a little bit of extra credit there as he gets the grab, little tweak shifty, and he is out and clean. Blake Ham looking for redemption after that massive backflip in Japan that didn't quite go exactly the way he had hoped, and looking for, well, actually getting it there. Blake Ham with a solid run top to bottom.
I think he'd be really happy with that.
Bust open the men's snowboard field.
Yeah. Nice half cab off the top. Puts a grab in as well.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see the style, Aaron style there through the roof for Blake Ham there. Wheeling, showing, you know, he's getting his sponsors plugged there by showing the base of his board. And then this double through the Rodney, that was absolutely spectacular. And that look at the snow in the landing. And
so
then just
good.
getting over here for the extra credit. We are all green. Line fluidity control, Aaron style technique, all looking good there for Blake Ham.
That's right. Huge ups to Blake Ham for opening it up for the snowboarder men again. We got the snore coming in. Got the score coming in. It's 80 points. That is a solid way to start the day. He came fourth in Hakuba, even though, as you said, he kind of over-rotated that backflip and wasn't a perfect landing. So he's had a more kind of solid, consistent run. Hasn't gone for a trick. As you said, we've seen a lot less tricks today, but 80 points first out of the gate. It's pretty impressive.
And we're going to be heading back to the top here, the ozone face, the sun just bathing it to our current reigning world champion, Sammy Luebke, looking for a little bit of redemption after Japan. This guy, you know he can do it. He's won the World Tour over and over and over again against all comers, and he is frothing on this face. He was looking at it. He's so excited to get onto it and just get back at it.
Loves getting pitted, in his own words. Just loves sending it sideways and getting that spray all up in his face, and I bet he's going to do that today. He is an enjoyer of powder as well as a sender of airs, and I bet he's going to do both those things in the next 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, Sammy Luebke, powder connoisseur. Not a big fan of the New England Patriots.
No, that was a interesting barbecue meal we had the other night watching the Super Bowl with him and his friend from 686, works for his outerwear sponsor and is a photographer, and just gave each other crap the whole time. But Sammy with a big 3 off the top to start things off. Look how deep he took that.
Yeah, Sammy opening up his campaign, and there it is. There's the slash turn, getting a nice big face shot. You know, this may be a competition, but there is nothing that says you can't enjoy it on your way down.
Not at all. This sounds a little bit weird, but I kind of like the way he holds his hands when he snowboards. It just makes him look so relaxed.
Yeah, he's got great style, and he's heading over into this technical section, making his way
No one been here yet.
No, he's the only man in here on top of that spine and pushing through. This is looking extremely technical. Sammy going
Sammy
huge.
Luebke on the double.
Yeah! Sammy Luebke going huge on the double there.
Oh my God!
Well,
holy crap, Sammy! You just blew my mind.
And coming across here, getting those powder slashes, Sammy Luebke, I can tell you right now, he is screaming at the top of his lungs because that line just stoked him out so much, as it did to everybody watching here live at Golden, and of course, everybody watching at home.
Did he float a 3 and then a massive double? I can't settle down, man. I'm sorry.
We are green, green, green all the way
me.
across, and Aaron style absolutely maxed out there for Sammy Luebke, pinned too, so fast. Ultra technical line there, massive. Sammy Luebke is going to be pumped on that one.
Oh my God. He was saying he wasn't feeling so good in his body when he was in Japan, just never maybe got over the jet lag or something. And like I was saying, he's never wanted to discount. He didn't get a great result there, but with the field wide open, with the first place points effectively not really counting in the overall competition standings now, I think this is going to be a solid result for Sammy and put him right back in the race for the contending for the FWT title this year.
Oh yeah, and there's a reason that man has been champion 3 times, and we just saw exactly why. Blake Ham throwing down the high five. Sammy Luebke, 85 points, slotting himself into first place currently in the snowboard men here at Kicking Horse. What a run there for Sammy. The boys, you know, sharing a little camaraderie in the bottom.
That's right. I would say get comfortable in the hot seat, Sammy. You might be there for a wee while. Looking at the face in real life as well as through this live screen, it's just, that line blew my mind.
All right. So first rider we're seeing in the snowboard men dropping out of start B, that's Thomas Feuerstein out of this technical section. He had a little bit of a morning wake-up mountaineering session to do. We're going to see what Thomas has on offer for us right now. He is just about to throw it down and start his run.
So Thomas, unfortunately not able to make it to Hakuba with illness, but throwing a half cab off the first air that Juliette Willmann opened up.
And then heading into this ultra bony traverse. But Thomas making short work of it, looking good. As he's looking, is he going to hook down into the Jackie passes? No, he's going to go across to the T-bone, as we call it.
And another trick off there, a 360. So
Thomas,
2 tricks already, with like quarter of the way through the run.
Thomas Feuerstein looking to add the freestyle. He is a stylish rider. He's got a deep bag of tricks. So far, a trick off every single feature. Another 3 there, and now a massive face shot. Thomas Feuerstein making his way down. It's a totally different style than what we saw from Sammy.
Yeah, for sure. Sammy got the freestyle elements as well, but charging today. Thomas getting off the peloton zone, but getting a bit hung up in there, pulling it back together,
and
managing to muscle his way through. Well done, Thomas. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was fierce. He wasn't going to be slowed down there. He just put his board on its base and pretty much rock rode the whole way down. It probably looks like a lion attacked his bases at the bottom, or his base at the bottom right now. But you know, sometimes when you're here, so looking good there. A little bit of a dip in control there on the judges' criteria. Aaron style maxed out, which makes absolute sense. He pretty much tricked every single feature he hit.
That's right. Love the way he popped off his nose on that first 3, and then so smooth on the second one as well. Total of 900 degrees of rotation in a Freeride World Tour run. It's pretty impressive stuff.
And then he just bulldozed his way through here. 69.33 for Thomas Feuerstein. That was, I got to say, that was an impressive feat just physically. He pretty much just manhandled that chute and was like, I'm not going down today.
I refuse to crash here. Yeah, it's even more difficult to get through rocky, bony, jarky sections on a snowboard. So big ups to Thomas Feuerstein for currently being in podium contention, even though he had to deal with a few rocks on his way down here. Huge score so far, 85 and 80 for Sammy and Blake. So looking at hard-hitting field so far, it's going to be tough to get on that podium.
But we certainly have a few more contenders for those spots. The man in the gate right now, Davey Baird, a regular on the podium. He finished, I believe, runner-up last year to Sammy in the overall, and he's on course. He's out of Alaska, and he wants it here.
He looks stoked too, and he won this event last year. He came first at Kicking Horse on this face exactly 1 year ago. So we're looking to repeat that with the nose but a 3 off that windlip. Really stylish way to start things off.
Oh, yeah.
Tricks are starting to flow.
Pumping up the thermometer. You know, you want to get it into the hot zone early and then keep it up there. So Davey going to be looking to do exactly that as he comes into the lightning bolt, getting it cross court and moving his way down.
Love the way though he tweaks those methods.
Yeah, finding a little rock there, kind of slowed him down, but Davey, you know, he's such a balanced athlete. It didn't throw him off much. And he's going to fire here off this little nugget. Again, Davey, nice and clean on his feet. Little smoke cloud there as he makes his way over to the lower section.
Yeah, tweaking it out again, and a 360 there. Throwing up a smoke cloud, cruising down, having a lot of fun enjoying that snow. It looks a little bit more variable on that looker's left side of the ridges where it may be a little bit more wind affected, but Davey making short work of it, multiple tricks, multiple powder slashes. Wow, it's pretty heavy hitting from the snowboard men's field so far.
Absolutely, yeah, and I would have expected nothing less. The method there, that is my favorite snowboard trick. All right, line looking good here for Davey. Fluidity and control, and then Aaron style way up. Technique, you know, he did have that little bit of a bobble when he hit the rock, so obviously the judges see that. They see everything.
That's right, but a nose butter 3, 2 styly methods, and a 360 down the bottom. It's, yeah, 4 tricks in one run, you know, that's comparative to Thomas Feuerstein's, you know, a little bit more smooth and flowy as well. So putting it out there, I think he's going to be right up there.
Oh, and he sure is. Davey Baird right now, 75.67. That's going to be good enough currently for third place in this absolutely stacked men's snowboard field. We've got, you know, a whole crop of talent still up top as these riders nervously waiting to see what the other riders are going to throw down. Right now, though, Sammy Luebke holding it down. Blake Ham sitting on 80 even, and Davey Baird in third spot right now with the 75.67. But the man in the gate is going to look to have something to say about that.
Absolutely. We've got snowboard legend Gigi Rüf coming up for you next. What a run from Gigi in Hakupa. That was so huge. I can't believe the way he stomped those ears and through tracks. I wonder what he's got for us today.
I've been going back, you know, since I figured out I was going to be joining the tour here doing this and watching some of the old Absinthe films. Gigi's film parts every time, they just get me so excited. He's got such great style, the best method in the game for sure, and we're going to see what he's got. He's up there on that sort of acid drop where it's just a 0 to 100 in 1 second right out of the gate. Gigi Rüf getting ready to start his campaign. He's unofficially sitting on the top of the rankings, and here he goes from the top ropes. Gigi Rüf
looks so rowdy. Technical straight off the bat. Only one way to get things started. Look, and that heli shot does it justice too. This crazy shizzle up there with the double. No, Gigi. Going down there, unfortunately, so fast to a little bit of an off-angle landing maybe.
Yeah, it's tricky starting from a standstill and then just being all of a sudden at that speed. Looks like he just got a little bit caught up, but he's going to come into here and he's going to keep that classic Gigi style. Going for the backside 3, wheeling through a couple powder turns.
Looking up to his next feature. Into the same zone as Davey Baird, I believe.
Yeah, and Gigi Rüf just looking to get over to the lower side. Nobody's been in this zone yet. He's going to push over and catch that nose for another 3 and then wrap it up down the apron here in the glorious kicking horse powder.
Nice nose butter 3. So I think that the thing that happened there for me was that he was riding on the looker's left of the ridges, the spines in the middle of the face, and the snow looks considerably worse there for me than on the looker's right where it's much more powdery and soft. So he was getting into zones which are pretty tough to ride. Let's see the double at the top. I think the angle of the landing didn't exactly work for the angle that he was snowboarding on at the time. So unfortunate to see Gigi go down, but he's already got a podium finish this year, so he's still in the contention overall, I would say.
Oh yeah, and he's Gigi Rüf, so you know he can throw down a winning run at any event. 51.67 there for Gigi. So right now that's going to slot him into the 5th place spot. But you know he's coming back strong as soon as we get to our next event.
That's Jonathan, right, over 50 even with a crash.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going back up to the top. Our next rider is going to be Jonathan Penfield. He's out of California, but he's currently living in Whistler, riding Blackcomb every day and loving it there. So here's a look at the Black Diamond hot seat. The man, Sammy Luebke, holding it down right now. But again, stacked field up top, and everybody wants a piece of what he's got right now.
That's right. Sammy Luebke, the opposite of Jonathan Penfield in the way that he is from up north, from Alaska, and moved to Tahoe. And the Tahoe to Canadian. Jonathan Penfield in the gate now. Like you said, living and riding with his Canadian girlfriend out of Whistler, BC.
John Powell, they call him. He loves powder. He loves getting face shots. And he's a big fan of this venue. You know, he was saying this one kind of suits his style, he thinks. So he's heading down towards the cornice, as we have seen, and making his way off there, getting the grab.
That's right. More of a traditional free rider, I would say, but big mountain snowboarder rather than a backcountry freestyler. But no stranger to tricks either. He's certainly put in more than 1 3 and a lot of grabs into his World Tour runs.
Heading across towards the rider's left. As you said, the slight change in aspects on this face makes a real difference in the snow quality. The way it's been transported, a bit scoured off the left side and deposited more onto the other side, or sorry, the other way around, He's just making his way across this ultra rocky traverse. And, every single rider that goes across here just makes it a little bit less delightful.
Exactly. Every person that's come across exposed a little bit more rock. And John Power not letting that stop him getting off that top air. He's managing to put it to his feet where we've seen a skier or two crash. So it's impressive stuff. That's usually harder on the snowboard with this little wind affected landing. So big ups John Power getting a 3 off that air as well. It's been a popular trick feature.
Yeah, that one I think the riders could tell the takeoff was going to be good, so they're feeling confident that they can spin it and throw down on it. And he is coming down through the powder field here and looking to go cross-court into the lower section of the double from last year, into the core. Jonathan Penfield getting after it there at the bottom. That's the way to stamp your run.
Yeah, one of those airs you just don't realize they're going to float in the air for that long. He was up there forever.
Yeah, we saw that one get used on a slightly different angle as the second air of the double last year. It looked like, or at least I'm talking to some of the riders, that the entry to the double this year didn't work, but the way he took that was super creative, and the judges really liked it. Look at Aaron's style way up into the green.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to finish your run off with a big feature like this, with a grab as well, just stomping the landing too. Looked a little bit firm than he kind of expected, I think. Maybe a bit like Blake Ham, wheeling out on a couple of his landings in a pretty strong way. Like, I don't think it was like, I'm not strong enough or I landed wrong. It's just that snow was harder than I expected, and, getting his tail really initiated and maybe a hand down. So.
And I think actually that's smart of them to use that technique, because the riders that are landing square over their boards are dropping the nose and punch fronting. So for these guys to kind of push back on the back foot and let the front of the board pop up out of the snow instead of going under the snow is keeping them upright, because everyone we've seen with that wheelie technique has been on their feet clean to the bottom.
That's right. Jonathan Penfield with 78 points. He is in podium contention right now with 3 riders left to go. It has been a pretty tough field up there today. Wonder who's sitting in the hot seat. It is Sammy Luebke.
Sammy Luebke, Blake Ham, Jonathan Penfield, and look how tight the scores are. Sammy, though, with just such a spectacular run. Blake Ham opening up the category and opening it in a spectacular way. And then we just saw John Penfield with that huge air out the bottom.
Yeah, 3 riders in podium contention at the moment from America, and another one coming up at you right now, Kristofer Galvin, also out of Tahoe. Tahoe super represented in the men's snowboarding field here on the Freeride World Tour at the moment.
Super stoked to see Chris Galvin back in the mix. He took some time off, and he said he missed his World Tour family. So he went right back to the qualifiers. Found that a little bit hard. These guys ride POW every day on the qualifiers. It's definitely not that, but managed to do what he needed to do to get back here, and now he is here where he belongs and about to throw down his... Oh, yeah, off the cornice there. Sorry, I got a little distracted from my story by watching him send it off the cornice into that perfect landing.
No worries. Stomped it in the powder, really making the most of it. Out of Tahoe, rides a lot of powder there, I'm sure, as well. And really stylish rider, smooth and flowy. Kind of like his personality.
Yeah, he's making his way down through this glorious POW field above the Rodney. We're going to see what he's got in here. We saw Blake Ham with the double in there right now. Chris looking like he's getting up more towards the nose. We're going to see what he wants to do here. We've seen this thing be the site of some wild hucking. So we'll see what Chris has got going on.
Surely he's not considering the nose of the Rodney, because that would be obscene.
Looking like he's going to peel around.
Maybe a little bit lost, unfortunately. I think he hasn't managed to find his features that he was hoping to.
Yeah, I think you might be right. That was a little bit uncharacteristic there, Chris. Now he's going over for this extra credit at the bottom, which he's definitely going to need, because the line score there is not going to be what he was looking for.
Maybe a little bit of control issue on that hit as well. So not really Kristofer Galvin's run today. I would say that he didn't locate the features he was looking for. Ended up stopping, trying to figure out where he was, taking a smaller air at the bottom than some of the other snowboarder guys have hit today, and maybe even having a small control issue on that too. So
yeah, I'll give him credit though, because one of the scariest things you can be on a face like this is lost, and taking his own safety into account and not just recklessly sending that thing, is a wise move, because we want to ride another day here. This is a long-term goal sport, and we want to stay in it till we're all 90. And stoked for Chris that was a good decision. If you don't know where you are, it's not a good idea to just punch off the front of the last thing you see.
Absolutely agree. Couldn't agree more. There's 4 or 5 stops of each rider this year. And hopefully we would like to see Kristofer Galvin at all of them.
Yeah, so back up to the mountaineering start. no surprise that in the mountaineering start is the mountaineering man. It's Victor De La Rue. He was our wild card this year, and he's got something to prove. He wants to get after it. He is at the absolute pinnacle of the B start right now and looking to start his run off with a bang.
That's right. Victor De La Rue, the French rider, looking to knock one of the Americans off the podium. We've got 3 Americans on the podium right now and 2 French riders to come. So Victor De La Rue, what's he got for us? Straight off the top of the ridge and high speed out of that.
Yeah, that's how you start a run. Immediate action. And this is the first guy we've seen off the lightning bolt. A lot of guys talking about that in inspection face check. Victor making it look easy.
Yeah, really easy. It was not an easy thing to do, and neither was that huge 360 he just floated.
Cross court, that was exactly what you'd expect from Victor De La Rue, finding the things that the other people don't see. And look where he is. He's already down here at the final feature at the peloton. And right off the nose, Victor De La Rue clean.
Stopping it.
Oh, that's what we were hoping to see from Victor De La Rue. The wild card is a wild card for a reason. He just threw down such a creative run, ultra technical with style. I can't wait to see what the criteria looks like on that one.
Wow, they're all green. They're all in the good zone, right up there. That has got to be a contending run. He wasn't happy with his run in Hakuba, and it's great to see him come back out and charge just like Sammy did.
Yeah, it shows the strength of the mental game of these riders. You know, if something doesn't go your way, what really is telling about these riders is how they bounce back from it. And Victor De La Rue bounced back in classic form, absolutely sending it. Combo of tech, of stylish, and of high speed. He was at that bottom feature before we could blink.
Yeah, exactly. And taking a slightly different line off the peloton. I think he ollied a bit early and really lined up the transition from the top. Put a lot of work into the scoping, and it's paid off. 90.33, Victor De La Rue sitting in the hot seat right now at the top of the podium, knocking one of the Americans off. There's 2 Americans left on the podium with him right now. But for now, Victor De La Rue in first place, showing why he's been wildcarded onto the tour.
That is what we were hoping to see from Victor De La Rue. Look how stoked he is. You can feel it just pumping through the TV screen. Victor De La Rue, hugs all around for Blake and Sammy. I mean, there's such a shared camaraderie here. There's that shared risk. They're all up there, you know, scared, knees shaking in the start. And down there, the feeling of relief and, of course, of pure burning stoke when you've just done the exact thing that you were hoping to do. All right, so Victor taking top spots. Sammy Luebke and Blake Ham, 2 American riders, rounding out the top 3, but we are not done.
That's right. Guaranteed podium finishes for Victor and Sammy now. We've got the last rider coming out of France, Ludovic Guillot-Diat, another rider that has been on the World Tour before, fallen off the World Tour, re-qualified. He's worked hard for this. He deserves to be here, and we are welcoming you back. Ludovic Guillot-Diat, second stop on the FWT 19 Kicking Horse Golden BC. What you got for us, my friend?
Ludo is on course and ready to get after it right now. He's making his way across the flats. It's interesting just to see the shape and condition of the snow. The wind's been pumping across there for a few days, but not really forming the cornice up as big as it was last year. Some of the riders, you know, a little concerned that it wasn't as flat. Oh,
front flip off the top.
Front flip.
Yeah, what a way to start off your run. It's a tough trick on a landing like that. We saw people crashing on straight here. So Ludo Guillot-Diat and a nice floated grab off the next feature too. He's charging down here.
Absolutely pinned, heading down to the nose of the Rodney. We're going to see if he goes for the Blake Ham double. Ludo getting a little snagged on the rocks, but not letting him slow him down. He's going to have to get onto his heel side if he wants to get into the takeoff of that double.
Pretty hard there.
Yeah, he's in though. Ludo is, unfortunately, not able to find his feet.
Gets his feet under him like a cat to make sure he doesn't get hurt on the rocks, the second part of the double. Such a shame to see him go down there, but glad to see him riding away okay.
Yeah, that was, as you said, that was cat-like. You know, he's rolling in the middle of a double has got to be one of the... Oh! Ludo with the backflip to just put an exclamation point on his run.
Certainly an eventful run. Front flip at the top, and back flip at the bottom, coming unstuck on the double in the middle, unfortunately, but showing he has got the goods to compete here. 2 tricks from Ludo, both inverts. Really impressive stuff to see. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to land him on the podium, but thank you for the show, my friend. That was super rad.
The Tame Dog front flip right to bolts. That was so cool to see. And then here, it looked like he got a little tangled up at the takeoff slopes up just a little bit. He wasn't able to carry the speed into it, and then he put himself onto his back. But look, he gets his board under him just at the right time.
Well done. Well done. I think that takeoff was a bit sharky, like you said. Maybe that slough put him off, and he was having a tough time getting enough speed and having enough visibility with the snow falling down across the pad of the double that he wanted to be airing off.
Score coming in there, 47-6-7. 8th place for Ludo. He's not going to be happy with that, but at the same time, he's probably feeling pretty excited about all the wild stuff he did on that run.
Yeah, adrenaline must be pumping, although the disappointment level is probably high. Ludo being asked to return to the sponsor wall for the shot while his score comes up.
Holding his arm there. Hopefully he didn't bang it as in his tumble through the rocks there. I'm just really glad he got his board under his feet before things got too wild. So check it out. Here at the top of the leaderboard, our wild card, the man, Victor De La Rue on a 90.33.
And then after that, 4 Americans in the top 5 representing for Tahoe and Alaska, as well as Black Ham coming out of Utah, I believe.
That's right.
Thomas Forstein and Gigi Rüf, although putting in some trickery, and charging fast runs and big airs, it's not enough to make the top 5, so super hard hitting guys snowboarding today. It's going to change up the leaderboard as well, I think, because Victor and Sammy not having great runs in Hakuba, now first and second finishes, so it's going to, with the absence of Travis, throw the leaderboard right open, I believe. Yeah,
big shake-up for sure on the leaderboard. We're going to get a look at that pretty soon here. Definitely curious to see now that, as we said, Travis is out of the mix. So Victor De La Rue taking a massive jump up the leaderboard, 37.90 points, but Davey Baird holding on super tight. Not even 100 points, or not barely 200 points in there, 36.05. And Blake Ham, Jonathan Penfield, look at, a 3 Americans there. Gigi Rüf now bumping down to 5th. Sammy Luebke bumping up to 5th. So definitely a big shake-up on the leaderboard on the snowboard side for the men.
Huge shake-up. And this is 2 results. We have 4 competitions before a cut is taken, and 3 results is what counts. So I feel like this is super wide open. Look at the difference between 1st and 5th. It is at 300 points.
All those guys sitting on the 3,000 point line, just a very, very slim margin. So pretty much wide open going into Fieberbrunn for the snowboard men.
That's right.
It's anybody's game. And
Absolutely.
As these guys showed, everybody's got the game to take it.
Yeah, what a show from the snowboard guys. Thank you very much. And the next and final category of the day is skiing men. It's going to be a high-hitting category as well. I'm pretty sure about that. This one is sure going to be rowdy too.
Rowdy. So taking a look back at Hakuba, Markus Eder absolutely throwing it down, doing what Markus does, winning with that perfect blend of super attack, high speed, and his freestyle wizardry.
And making headlines in the Freeride World, Tanner Hall, first ever Freeride World Tour competition, and taking home a second with big tricks and smooth technical skiing in the deep pow in Japan.
And my man, Tom Piper, straight out of the Whistler Freeride Club, charging out of the gate in his very first ever Freeride World Tour stop to a 3rd place, landing on the podium in his first event.
Kristofer Turdell, do not forget about this guy, the defending World Tour champion. Top 10 finished last year in the first comp, top 10 finished this year in the first comp. Last year turning that into a World Tour title win. I wonder what he's got for us in combination with that here today as we see Craig Ramari's crazy cork 7 off the top hit in Hakuba.
Heavy, heavy hitting field here in the ski men's category. Really, the only way I can look at it is whose day is it? Because any one of these guys could walk away. Looking right out the gate with Berkeley Patterson, last year's Rookie of the Year. Tanner Hall, the ski boss. Who knows what he's going to do? I'm prepared to have my mind blown. Grifen Moller started out last year. Kristofer Turdell, current reigning champion.
Leo Slimit, former champion at Wadeck Gorak, coming out of France, missing the first stop due to injury, unfortunately. But Aymar Navarro, the crazy Spaniard, he has amazing stuff going down both in Spain and South America, and of course here on the World Tour. Yann Rausis out of Verbier, and my boy Craig Murray out of New Zealand, representing for that huge crazy cork 7 up the top at last stop.
Oh yeah, and then the Maple Leaf there next to Tom Piper's name. Tom wants it bad. He's proven himself here on this stage in the first stop of the World Tour, and he's ready to do it again. And then we are going straight to last year's champ. He's a wild card in this event, but he's here for only one thing, and that's to win. Logan Pehota.
That's right. Markus Eder, the winner from the last stop. It's going to be a great battle between those two. Drew Tabke and Reine Barkered, both former Freeride World Tour champions. Yann Dumax-Baudron, World Tour rookie, World Tour wildcard this year. You know, it's crazy how the wildcards are just right up there with the former champions. Andrew Pollard, another rookie. Carl Regnier, another rookie after missing his rookie year last year due to injury. Mickael Bimboes as well. Tell me a thing or two about him.
Well, Mickael, I mean, he's won the last, before this year, he won the last 2 stops, and this is something that, this is a venue that suits him so perfectly because he's wild, he goes huge, and he's super creative. Liam Piper out of the Whistler Freeride Club, Tom Piper's twin, and he's got something to prove. He did not exactly do what he wanted to do in Hakuba, so he is here with a chip on his shoulder. And then we saw Yu Sasaki finishing 4th there in Japan, and of course Fabio Studer ready to kind of bring the freestyle and freeride blend onto the face here, and ozone here, kicking horse.
That's
Golden
right.
BC.
You and Fabio both both strong freeriders with high elements of freestyle in their riding. I remember Fabio's legendary run back in Chamonix in the day with a left side cork 7, a right side cork 3. It was unbelievable stuff. I think he's put a lot of effort into doing tricks in other competitions as well, which sometimes haven't always been as easy to do tricks in. You know, going for tricks off lips that are pretty tough to trick, aren't necessarily there. Had a couple of crashes, and I feel I'm ready. I think he's ready, and I'm ready to see him regain that glory with the impressive trick here today, even though it's a pretty tough venue to trick. We've seen a couple from the snowboard guys.
Oh yeah, we know it's possible now. Before we started today, everyone kind of wondered, but now we know it's possible. Freestyle is in play on Ozone, and we know with the field that we've got, we're going to see some action here. Guys are lining up some wild moves. You know, listening to them in face check was pretty buck wild to think, you know, what they're thinking of, what they're thinking of spinning, and I can't wait to see how it's all going to play out. The snow conditions have been unbelievable. A few storm days. It's been kind of cold, so we're keeping that champagne quality of the BC powder here at Golden. Has just been spectacular. Pretty much face shots every day.
That's right. The riders are making the most of the stormy days the last few days. Yeah, powder's been deep in the trees.
Woo! Let's go! But anyway, it was a good day again, for sure. We made it!
One of the athletes' absolute favorite things about the Freeride World Tour is the days when the competition doesn't run. Usually it doesn't run because it's snowing. And every single one of these athletes, men and women, skiers and snowboarders, they are passionate about their sport. So when it's snowing, they're not sitting around moping going, oh, we don't get to compete. They're like, oh, sweet, well, one more day of power riding. And they're out there, you know, like we said earlier, they're out there bell to bell, pumping out laps and finding zones in new terrain. It's one of the coolest parts about traveling around and seeing new resorts, you know, especially for the rookies that haven't been to all the stops, is finding the spots. You know, you maybe catch up with a local and they show you their little secret stash, although no locals were showing any secret stashes here this week. No secrets were given away at Kicking Horse. Check out the crowds. We've got these spectators on the ridge on the other side there under the Stairway to Heaven chair. The crowds are hot. Golden and Kicking Horse especially really coming out hot to support this event.
Yeah, that's right. It was pretty cool to be sitting in the lodge between laps the last couple of days. The Black Diamond Cafe at the bottom of the gondola here in Kicking Horse, Golden, BC. Kicking Horse Mountain Resort. They were just going out for 2 or 3 laps and then coming back in and being like, oh, it's so cold. People taking their boots off and warming their feet up, putting those heat packs on. It was minus 30 with wind chill, I think, but the riders couldn't stop themselves. They'd go out, do some laps, warm up their face, get those white spots away in the cafe, and back out for more laps. The snow was just too good to pass up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best thing about cold weather is what it does to the snow. It's a little sticky, as we said, just because it's so grippy and kind of crystallized. But the quality of the powder is just so spectacular. So we're sitting here at the base of the ozone face. We're seeing quite a show. Snowboard men just threw it down. We know the ski men are up top, chomping at the bit to get after it right now.
I don't know if you see how much steam's coming off us when we were talking. Like, it's the middle of the day and it's sunny, but it ain't warm.
Yeah, we are experiencing classic Canadian conditions here at Kicking Horse. This is pretty much what it's like. You dress for it and you'll be fine, and it keeps the snow awesome. We've seen it all week here, and right now the ozone face looking good. As you said, we want to keep to the one side. One side's been a little bit more affected by the wind than the other. So you can sort of see on the face just the way it's shaped up. And last year we had some spectacular action. This thing's only been on tour for 1 year, but already some runs have gone down that are pretty much going down as
BC
legendary.
Local.
Yeah, Logan Pehota.
Logan Pehota's run last year off the nose. I'm going to call it the Pehota. I think it might even be impossible this year, but it wasn't the only massive hit.
Seriously, no. But we nearly lost the concept. Here comes Logan Pehota, the local and one of the favorites of tour and of course this event.
Yeah, sending it off
with
the
big
corner.
360.
Nice.
Opening up.
Stomping it too. Getting into the technical section. Will he send this off the nose and not hesitate? Yes, he will. As a double. Holy damn. Gets a little bit wild up in there, but wrangle the shoot style. He is here to get rowdy. How fast can we be through this technical section that everyone has decided is too rocky? Really fast. And off the nose of the hugest.
Holy macaroni! This is unbelievable.
Gosh, I've been looking at
The
that.
gnarliest part of the mountain.
Oh man, I've been looking at that all day and decided it wasn't possible because all the good riders got there and went somewhere else. No one else seemed to think it was possible. Into Logan Pehota. Wow.
He just followed up from Line of the Winter, winning Powder Magazine.
Is maxed out. Every single category, line fluidity, control technique, and air and style. How big is this?
On this fin, the takeoff is hardly there.
Almost skiing on one ski there. Oh man. Logan
With a
Pehota.
big smile, and this is gonna take the win!
Points.
98 points. I have never seen such a score.
It's so
I can't remember
high.
a score of 98 before.
It's pretty much saying you can't do better, and I'm not sure if you...
Seeing Logan Pehota there from last year just throw it down on what we're calling the Pehota Air. It's interesting talking to all the riders and everybody kind of wondering who's going back there, who's going to go back to the well that delivered so much last year, but not really sure if that nose is in play this year.
I didn't really think it was in play before he took off last year. He was one of the last riders, and there'd been so many riders going through that zone that the run-in was really bony. You know, it had looked good during inspection, but so many rocks had been exposed from people making turns down it. So Logan avoided those just by going directly straight, and then off the nose of that air, which I don't think anybody else hit, meaning he went extremely big. Unfortunately, I don't think that run is in this year, because even if he went that big, you'd still be landing on what looks like rocks to me right now off the Pehota. But Sammy Luebke getting off something not too far away from that of almost a similar size.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of options on this face right now to go absolutely huge. And the only really thing that's going to keep the riders back is their own creativity. And we know this field has that in spades. So what I've really kind of enjoyed so far on this face is we've seen almost a dead even split between riders riding on the different aspects on the different sides. We've seen quite a few on the riders' left side. Of course, the peloton, they're seeing its fair share of action. But a bunch of riders getting over on the other side and finding tranny over there and definitely finding some ways to go big, which is great. The judges love it, right? Pump the line score up, ride it well with good technique and control, and the rest of it will take care of itself. And then, of course, our snowboarders adding the freestyle factor to their big lines, and I mean, we saw it reflected in their scores.
Yeah, that's right. As you're saying, the lookers left the spines of the venue. They didn't get much traffic last year. There was more snow in that area, meaning there were more rollovers than big hits. But now they're pretty big hits, and we're seeing a bit of traffic in there, which I think will increase from the skiing guys. Like you're saying as well, it's all about finding the tranny, and I think that that's really important to understand. When you're watching a competition like this, trying to understand how the riders are choosing their lines, you might think they're just looking out there and saying, what's the biggest cliff? What can I jump off that will be impressive and make everyone go wow? But it's not necessarily that. It's where's the best tranny? Where's the nicest place to land? Where can I land and definitely stomp smoothly without putting a hand down, without slapping off my back? You know, it's all about making sure that you can ride away smoothly, whether you do a trick, whether it's just a big air. And there's trannies to be found more on the left side than the right side, I think, in comparison this year, which is why we're seeing a shot of us right now, actually, on the heli, just waving at it as it goes past.
Yeah. So, you know, you talk about transition. That's the transition from the air back to the ground. And what we're looking for is a connection rather than an impact. And we've seen both today. We've seen a couple huge airs to flat landings where it was really a bit more of an impact. And we've seen, especially with Sammy there, finding the transition where reconnecting with the ground doesn't have a lot of impact. It allows the riders to ride away clean and not have to, you know, use all those leg muscles they built up in the gym all summer from their training.
That's right. Talking of last year and transitions that were found, we've got someone in the gate that did that. It's Berkeley Patterson, the first ski guy, and I think he's dropping it in about 30 seconds. He sent it pretty big last year, and one thing about transitions is you've got to know what speed you want to be taking off the jump that you're hitting or the cliff that you're dropping to get the best transition. Berkeley did that really well last year, getting a 4th in this, his first ever competition since we ran the Japan one after the Canadian one last year.
Yeah, he really impressed me with the way he went out of the gate in his very first ever Freeride World Tour competition last year, and it led to good things as Berkeley was crowned Rookie of the Year at the end of the season.
And he is on course, straight out of the gate with a 3 off the top of the ridge into another feature, getting wild and rowdy with no hesitation and transferring over the lightning bolt. Whoa, he's already blown my mind.
Berkeley Patterson putting the thermometer right up into the red zone, straight off the bat, getting over that wind drift there. Berkeley on a heater right now, straight into the fingers. Berkeley Patterson taking off right where he left, into the fingers. This section is so steep, and you can tell super rocky. Berkeley, though, learning a lesson from Logan last year. No turning, just straight lining off the air. Berkeley Patterson.
Oh my God. What a way to start the ski-mean category. It was like he pretty much straight-lined an angle to the left and then an angle back to the right just to get as many features as possible. Massive cross-court airs with no hesitation. Just looked like he fought his way through a couple of trees out of basically anger that they were slowing him down at all before taking this huge bottom air, judging criteria all in the green.
And exactly what you said before, Neil, Berkeley finding the transitions. None of those landings looked like he was going to put his knees through his face, just finding the ramps, finding the angles, you know, doing the math basically in his preparation to find the spots where he can land. Even if the snow wasn't deep, it didn't matter. Berkeley Patterson showing why he was the rookie of the year, now looking like he wants to be in contention for the title. 80.33 for our first run.
Smile on his
boys,
face.
we are in for a show. Yep. Berkeley Patterson starting things off with a bang in the ski men's category.
Congrats, Berkeley. What a way to start your sophomore year on the World Tour.
All right, so we are straight back to the top with the ski boss. The things he was talking about in inspection, I don't know if it was real or not, but it's wild. Whatever Tanner Hall does, you know it's going to be impressive. You know it's going to be wild. He, more than anything, this guy loves to ski.
That's right, he does. He's been skiing for a long time, been showing the mastership of it, changing the game, breaking barriers, breaking records, and now his first year as a change from park and backcountry freestyle, he is now on the Freeride World Tour for the second time, and let's see what he's got for us today. Charging at this wind lip. How big is he going to go?
Looking for the spot here. Tanner Hall not wanting to end up into the debris. No, Tanner Hall is going down to the spines.
No
This is
way.
the first time we've seen any athlete down in this section. Tanner Hall looking to find something creative here as he pops over the edge of the cornice, and he is in.
It's so steep and technical here. It's so gnarly. You do not want to be falling. You can be going huge. Looking at how good that snow is, I think he's got a good chance for a huge stomp. No way, Tanner Hall! No way!
Tanner Hall was a massive 360. That is what we expected out of Tanner Hall, and it was so clean. Tanner Hall going all the way down the ridge, finding his way through the spines, and then a massive 3 straight to bolts off that bottom air. We are in for a show
Look
here.
how huge that was. The takeoff is so far gone out of the frame by the time he lands, and he just stomps it so clean.
You know, Tanner has put his time in the gym over the summer. He's basically said, I'm going to be ready. So line score a little low. He pretty much only had one feature, but the feature he had was spectacular. Air and style control and fluidity almost maxed out. And you could tell how strong he was because that landing was, I mean, it was a heavy impact, and he just muscled it out straight to bolts, 4 points, and skied away like a ski boss.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, like, the only thing that is down in his score is because of the line. As you said, it's because it's only one feature. That's what we were talking about before, that the Lookers left didn't get much traffic last year because it was smaller last year. That was ginormous now, but it's hard to link together more than one feature. And you see he went quite a long way down the ridge. I think he'd lost maybe half of the vertical height by the time he kind of dropped into his line, and now he has to kind of traverse back to the finish. So, like, don't get me wrong, I am so glad that he did that. That was unbelievable, but it might be tough to take home a podium finish with a one-hit run.
We'll see. 78 points even for Tanner Hall there, and he has said, you know, he's not been shy about saying that he's in this because he wants to ski things that he wants to ski, and I guarantee he saw that feature and he said, I want to 3 that, and so that's what he did. That's Tanner Hall's style. He's going to do what he wants, and that was what he wanted to do, and I'm really glad he did because I wanted to watch it.
Oh my God, I'm glad. That was unbelievable. That was a great tranny as well. Like, he looked at that face, he said, where's the best tranny? It's super steep over there with a nice run and nice takeoff. And Grifen Moller, what's he going to do? The other American to compare to the first 2 Americans we've had, his best friend and his idol, you know, just getting things off with the Americans. They were holding it down on the snowboard guys, and now they're holding it down on the ski guys. Really impressive stuff here so far.
Yeah, Griff looking to light the candle here. He's up there on that drop-in, and we've got the call. Grifen Moller dropping in right off the top with a 3, same as Berkeley. Oh, but Grifen putting his tip under the snow and getting tripped up there right off the top with such a spectacular start for Griff.
That's a real shame. His 360 up the top and the Kicking Horse restage Hakuba event last year here in Kicking Horse, it was just, it blew my mind. It was so blind and it was so big and it was such a sniper landing. He can do big 3s into tough landings, but I think that it was just a little bit of variable snow, maybe clipped someone else's track. It was going the opposite direction to the traverse tracks you can see coming out to the looker's left. So, bit of bad luck for Grifen here today, and I'm really sorry to see that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, as Grifen definitely was looking to get things started with a bang with that 3 off the top. After the event last year, I went and stood on his takeoff for the restage that he 3'd, and it was mind-blowing. I didn't even understand how he could ski him. He was completely blind, and as you said, the place he had to land was so ultra precise that he just knew exactly where he was, and then like a cat brought the spin around at exactly the right pace and took it right to his feet. But unfortunately for Grifen there, just getting caught up by something, and that's going to do it for his run here at Kicking Horse.
That's what we're saying. Unfortunately, that is a no score. Losing a ski means that you do not get any points, and you will be tied last with whoever else lost a ski, which is obviously very disappointing for Grifen. But he has got another 2 stops left to go. We'll be heading off to Austria and Andorra, where he's got another 2 chances to show what he's made of, what he's capable of, because I know he's an extremely good skier. We look forward to seeing his next run. Just making his way down the face now, enjoying some powder turns. It's the tradition or the culture, or at least pretty much a rule actually, is to, if you crash and lose a ski, you're getting no score. Don't hit anything else. Don't track anyone else's takeoffs. Don't track anyone else's landings. It's incredibly poor form to crash in someone else's landing if you've already crashed and lost a ski. So Griff just making his way down in the powder fields now.
Yeah, being a conscientious competitor as he is. So we are going back up to the top. This is our current world champion, the reigning champion, Kristofer Turdell out of Sweden, and he's looking to put his mark on this event. He's got kind of a full bag.
That's right. We had 2 stops here in Kicking Horse, Golden BC last year, one of them being restaged from Hakuba. Kristofer Turdell taking a top 10 finish in the first one and a podium finish in the second one. So he's had a top 10 finish in the first competition this year. Will he get onto the podium today? Skiing fast through this top section of variable snow.
Yeah, Kristofer Turdell off the side of the lightning bolt with a backflip straight to his feet.
So smooth.
Kristofer Turdell has the ability to make difficult things look easy. He's so strong and he's so smooth and technical. And right into a 3 there. Kristofer Turdell loading his run with freestyle elements already.
Usually known as a pure freeride skier, you know, he does well in the Big to Ross and the Scandinavian Big Mountain Championships. Now with the backflip and a 3, I think one of the only people to invert and spin so far. And just greasing that peloton air.
Yeah, taking it just a little bit cross-court, finding the tranny there. That was exactly the way that air needed to be hit, especially with a couple big bomb holes from some of our previous athletes. Kristofer Turdell making short work of that. Look at this with the backflip off the very top of the lightning bolt. Technique a little down, everything else pinned. His line score looking pretty good. This is going to be a high-scoring run. Love that 3, taking it the other direction than a lot of the other athletes did.
That's right. And this bottom air just making it look so easy. Lands and has a bit of a headbang, you know, he's
here to party.
That's right.
Kristofer Turdell holding it down for the Swedish crew, getting the vibes going as the rest of the athletes down there. 89 even. Kristofer Turdell taking over the top spot in the ski men so far.
Sitting in first right now. So it's a good way to talk about the judging when you explain the comparison between this and Tanner Hall's run. I'd say that Tanner Hall's feature was more impressive than any of Kristofer's features. It was bigger. The 3 was super nice and stylish. It was super stomped. Like, you know, it was amazing. Like, don't get me wrong. But it's just because Kristofer Turdell has done 4 hits, 2 tricks. You know, he's utilized more of the venue, I'd say, is why he has a better score.
Oh, yeah, he's packed it. He packed it full of action, and we're seeing that reflected in the score. Kris Turdell sitting in first place currently, but there is a whole bunch of men up top who want to have something to say about that. We're seeing riders warming up. So right now, Kristofer Turdell sitting on 89 even, Berkeley on the 80.33, and Tanner Hall on the 78 with the mega 3 over on the riders' right side. And we're going back up to the top, and I think we're looking here at Leo Slemmet is going to be our next athlete.
That's right. Leo Slemmet missing out on the Hakuba stop due to an injury. I believe he has got a bad ankle that's been troubling him for quite a while. So making the wise decision to not ski on it when it's hurting him too much. But coming back here to join us, getting back on his skis, seems pretty happy to be here.
Yeah, well, if he's got a sore ankle, I certainly don't see it, as he made very short work of that top section and the super technical traverse through the rocks. No problem there. Leo Slemmet off the side, and he is well into his run underway, holding it down here with a nice high-speed section. Again, the glory pile. Leo lining it up.
3 for Leo as well, stomping that landing. It looks like it's getting a little bit harder from the amount of athletes that have landed there, but just full force through the legs. He is not going to crash.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about the way Kristofer Turdell hit that one, just a slightly different angle. Now Leo going into the peloton, taking it here cross court again with a huge 3 into the bomb hole, getting a little bit sideways, laid down on the side there, landing pretty much, it looked like exactly where Kristofer Turdell landed, which is not always what you want in an air that size when you're coming out of a 360.
I can't believe he tried to 3 that. That is crazy stuff. That was exactly where Maude Besse came off, and Maude Besse went huge and hit so hard that she hot tubbed, and he's going for the 3 on that. So big ups to him. So much freestyle and a strong free rider's run.
Now look at this, such a technical takeoff, down sloping. I just slightly over rotated there.
Doesn't
I think,
help.
yeah, you know, it doesn't work there unless you're lined up so perfectly in the exact direction that we saw Kristofer land. And Leo Slemmet, unfortunately, I mean, it's hard not to over rotate when you go that big.
Exactly.
Pretty much only one guy that I've seen today go that big and not over rotate is a guy who's probably logged more air miles spinning than the rest of the field combined, which was Tanner Hall.
That's right, frequent flyer.
So 64.33, that's going to drop Leo into 4th place currently.
That's right, so Leo not looking particularly stoked with his run today. His French countryman, who also missed the last competition with injury, is up next in the start gate. We have Wadeck Gorak.
Yeah, looking to kick things off. This is his first run in his rookie season of the Freeride World Tour, and he is looking to start it off with a bang. Let's see how things get going here for Wadeck Gorak.
That's right. I competed with Wadeck in Romania at a FWQ about 5 years ago, and his backflips there were absolutely insane. So I'm pretty excited to see what he's got for us here today.
Oh, a sneaky little behind the curtain air there to get things going for Wadeck Gorak. We haven't seen anyone hit that one yet, but he looked good, and again finding tranny and right into this one. You called it, Neil. The backflip straight to bolts. Wadeck Gorak looking strong here in his opening gambit in the Freeride World Tour this year.
Looking pretty strong coming back from an injury as well. You know, it's impossible to believe that these guys are injured when they're skiing like this.
Same air there as Berkeley, but just sneaking past the rocks there. The trajectory looking a little bit, I don't know if that was his plan, and if it was, he got it exactly right.
Gonna give him a benefit of the doubt and say it was super sniper. You know, he wanted to get a fresh landing and go right close to the rocks where no one else would, but shutting it down just in time to avoid those trees, laying it out with a backflip and taking this. I think that might have been Jonathan Penfield's air, actually.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. So he is happy. That's pretty much exactly what he wanted to do.
Welcome to the Freeride World Tour, Wadeck.
Pumping his judging criteria up into the green. Line and control looking strong there. Fluidity, air and style, and technique all sitting green. That was a great way to start.
Yeah, really is. He's been fighting through the FWQ for a long time, fighting injuries, fighting unlucky results. First ever comp on the World Tour, sitting in 4th right now, 74.33. Big ears, big backflip, stomping his ears. You got to be happy with that, Wadeck. Such a heavy hitting field here today from the guys and girls.
So as we see the heli shot here of the top, we're going to be kind of closing in on the start gate. We're going to be seeing a man who likes to go big and likes to get wild. Aymar Navarro out of Spain from Bakira Barret. This guy knows how to send, and he is not afraid to go fast.
That's right, and a quick shout out to Aymar. He had a friend pass away in the mountains between the Hakuba stop and this stop here. He's pretty cut up about it, a good friend in his home resort who unfortunately perished in an avalanche. A reminder about safety for us all. Aymar on course doing this for his friend.
Kicking things off here with that upper air. Getting out onto the left foot there and making his way into the middle section of the lightning bolt. Taking it clean there. Aymar Navarro so strong. He knows exactly where he's going, and he's always got just a little creative take on some of these high-speed lines.
Yeah, I love the way he stomps his ears, and I love the way he scopes his ears as well. He finds things that other people don't. It looks like he might be lining that up at the bottom here into this steep, rocky, technical section. Stomping that one too, making it look easy.
Into the chute, and then the second stage of this cookie double, and dead clean for Aymar Navarro. Out the bottom, into the powder. Super creative, a bit of a hook in the wraparound line there for him.
So
and
smooth.
Pretty much staying in character there, riding in ways and sections that other people haven't skied and haven't seen.
Big cross-court airs. Who was that took the first one? That was that Berkeley's track that he's next to there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no tricks from Aymar today. More of a classic kind of big mountain rider. Look at him sending that one too. Stomping Like, there was no option not to. I think that without a trick, that line will maybe struggle to get up into podium contention. Aaron Style, you can see, is down, but really solid run from the Spaniard.
Yeah, and this is what's one of my favorite thing about this sport is there's no one right way to do it. You know, you can send it like that, you can go full speed, you can add your tricks, you know, and the judges are the ones who have the difficulty here because they're the ones who have to decide how that's going to stack up. So 70 even for Aymar Navarro, dropping him into 5th place, and he's looking like he feels good about that. You can see he's happy to be at the bottom. Aymar getting crazy frostbite on his nose yesterday, so hopefully his nose is feeling all right.
Yeah, pointing at the sky there, I think, in homage to his friend who guided him down that run. Big ups, big love.
So right back up to the top, Yann Rausis, the Swiss style master. He is looking to get things started from an extremely technical drop-in spot.
Double and down straight out of the top. Nice way to do that. I think that angle works better for the transition on the second air and really, really fast out of the bottom too.
Yeah, nice snaky turns here. Yann Rausis floating a big 3 in a direction that nobody has hit that one yet. Finding just the perfect pocket of snow on a massive 360, and he's right back into the tech here.
How do you scope that? And taking this one on a different angle as well. And stomping it. Yeah, Yann, look at him just rolling out like a park boss, hands down. He is happy, and why wouldn't you be? That was a huge run. That tranny 3 on that hit that no one else has found.
Yeah, taking it in a completely different direction there. That's one thing I love about this guy. He's super creative, and it almost works like a jump that way, where the other way it's more of a drop. You know, he was able to use that lip to set him up perfect, and then this big send and deep into the landing, just blowing up a face shot. You know, that's why they work out in the summer, because they need to be able to hold on to those landings. Yann Rausis is going to be happy about that one.
Yeah, for sure. Lines in the green. I bet on him to come first, actually, in the Peak Performance Fun bet that we'll tell you more about later, when he was in Hakuba, and he didn't come first, but he's got a chance of doing that now. So, Yann, I believe in you. You didn't believe in my bets at the right time, but I'm backing you, man. That was a huge run. It's good to see you back on form.
Yann Rausis is feeling good about that one. He's going to be happy. He kind of put the whole plan together, got down to the bottom, and we are going to wait and see what the judges thought. The criteria all in the green there, kind of maxed out. And so he's going to sit and now wait nervously to see what the judges decide.
Like you said, any person in this men's ski category could take home the win on any day. They're all such a talented field of amazing athletes. So Yann Rausis waiting nervously for his score. GoPro pointing maybe a little bit too far up, I would say. Maybe from the impact of that heavy hit he took at the bottom.
Yeah, he definitely used all the travel in his suspension there. Nice long legs. He's a tall man, Yann Rausis, and definitely using all of it to stick that landing and getting a huge face shot. 83.33. Yann Rausis dropping into 2nd spot right now.
Huge score. He doesn't look as happy as I thought he might be with that 2nd spot with his heavy hitting guys. Field is pretty good. We're about a 1/3 of the way through the field now, so it's pretty good. Maybe he's not excited to not be on the podium. Oh, there's no 2nd. He didn't even smile, man. His guy's got high standards.
Yeah, Kristofer Turdell still holding it down in the top spot, and Berkeley rounding out the top 3. Who, you know, Berkeley pretty much opened up the day with a bang. So right now, 1, 2, 3, Kristofer, Yann, and Berkeley. But as you said, heavy hitting field, a ton of talent. Your boy right now back up at the top, the Kiwi, Craig Murray, ready to kick off his campaign here.
That's right, Craig Murray rolling with a big Kiwi crew out of Revi. Coming on over from Japan, where he had some good times, get a bunch of deep pow. Had a good time in Revi as well, and now here in Kicking Horse Mountain Resort, Golden, beautiful British Columbia, giving a wave and a good luck to his friends and compatriots at the top, as he always does. And he's so stylish and so solid. I think this venue's really going to suit him.
Yeah, Craig Murray blowing minds in Japan with that cork 7 with the blunt crab on the tail there. Heading down the ridge, we're going to see if he's going to pump off the ridge or he's going to go down into the spine zone where Tanner went. Get a little slash turn there, just checking things out. This is a great way to actually see where you're going. Get real close to the corner so you can kind of take a look over and also throw some snow over for the crowd.
Is he getting right into the top of the spine section like Tanner did? Looks like it.
Yeah, you can see Tanner's track. I think that Craig has gone too far and is actually below where he meant to go. That just based on the body language that we're seeing, yeah, he's waving. Craig Murray
looks a bit frustrated there.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's got something lined up and doesn't go blind from this point, because it is gnarly. Of course that's not blind. How could you spin a 3 like that in the area? What do you mean he's lost? Look at him go with the transfer! Oh my God, Craig! What the hell was that?
He wasn't lost. He was hyping up the crowd. That was his hype up move. Craig Murray finding a 3rd air there on the extra credit. There was, I completely misread that. Craig Murray was putting his hands up to make sure everybody had eyes on what was about to go down. That was
Holy
spectacular.
crap.
Such a creative use of that way rider's right zone. This is perfect. Look where he landed, deep powder, and then straight onto that left foot to get across to where he needed to be for this massive flat spin.
Holy
Craig Murray
crap,
and
Craig.
catching tranny perfectly there again. That was such a well-scoped line. Craig knew exactly where he was and exactly what he was doing. That was just spectacular.
Mind-blowing stuff. I think that top three was more amazing than I really realized at first, because you saw how much exposure he was above as he landed. He absolutely backed himself to land that three perfectly into a turn to get to his next feature. You wouldn't want to fall there for safety reasons, and you wouldn't have been able to make your next feature, even if you had a slight control issue at all. So really pinpoint perfectly, putting down his run there, and 3 hits through that same zone where Tanner already had 1. So
yeah, we saw there in the criteria the line's a little bit low, as well as the fluidity because, of course, the stopping. But I don't know if you're going to punish a guy for getting the crowd hyped up.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
only
the
an
other
indicator.
Categories are through the roof. Craig Murray with a
93 points.
even.
Yes, Craig.
Wow, well, that is a new high standard here, high watermark for the ski men's field. Craig Murray sitting in first place on 93 with something that we have legitimately never seen before on this venue.
That was unbelievable. You absolutely blew my mind. You're sitting on 93 points in front of Tanner Hall, Berkeley Patterson, and a field of other star-studded rippers. You came down to the ridge. We thought you were lost. We thought you were frustrated or waving to say you meant to go the other way, but you were just saying, I'm going to send the crap out of
I
this.
think he was maybe calling the heli over. All right, so right back up to the top, and another member of this field who could throw it down, Tom Pfeiffer in the ultra-technical middle start gate, getting ready to kick things off. We saw what he was capable of in Japan. We are going to see what he has done, or what he's about to do here. Tom starting strong on that drop-in, getting a little inside there, but now he is making his way over to the lightning bolt, looking for a big send here.
Little bit of a backslap on that one. I think the snow, like we were saying, is a little bit firmer on the looker's left of all the ridges and spines. So that was what caught up Grifen Moller. It's what might have caught up Tom now as well. Unfortunately, a Sharky takeoff, grabbing at his skis as he gets into the air and taking him down.
Yeah, definitely hitting rocks on the takeoff. You could see his feet decelerated instantly, and he got thrown into the running man, the cat out of the bag. Tom Pfeiffer not going to be happy with that. This is, of course, the risk on this face. Tom Pfeiffer looking to just finish things off here. Wheeling out of that one. He didn't have the speed he probably would have needed. So looking to just kind of wrap it up. But yeah, it was the concern of a lot of these athletes that some of these takeoffs might be a little bit sharky, and Tom definitely finding a rock on that takeoff. Not what he was looking to do here at Kicking Horse.
Looking to back up his 3rd place in Hakuba, his podium run on his first ever competition, but you see that ski get caught up by that rock in that takeoff. That is not a miscalculation, that's just bad luck.
Yeah, there's no way out of that. Once your skis decelerate like that, you're going. He did well, and I'm glad that he landed in powder there when he was that far forward.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't want to get kicked onto your face onto rocks. So Tom Pfeiffer not having the run that he was looking for here. 35.33, 9th place for Tom.
Already got a podium in the bag this season, though. You are still in the running for the overall title. There's 4 stops if you don't make the cut. There's 5 stops if you do make the cut. So with the podium, you've got 2 more to get a top 3 together before you head to Verbier. We'd love to see you there, Tom.
That's right. And we are going back up to the top for our reigning champion at Kicking Horse, the wild card this year, coming back to defend the title, Logan Pehota. He is at the top, and he is here for only one reason, and that's to take his championship again.
That's right. Last year he said he was here to win, and he won. This year he has said he's here to win. What's he got for us in this incredibly talented guy skiing field? Hurt his knee last year in the second comp here in Kicking Horse Golden BC. Won the Kicking Horse stop, hurt himself in the Hakuba restaged in Kicking Horse stop. Was out of the World Tour for the rest of the season, and this year he's decided to concentrate on filming and film projects. Joining us for his local stop here to defend his title, Logan Pehota. He is just about to drop in on course from start B, the steep, technical, slightly variable snow start.
Yeah, definitely seen a few bobbles in there, but Logan getting light, coming into this with a big 3. Logan bringing it to his feet, starting things off with a bang as he heads down into the steep section. We're going to see if he can find a slightly better takeoff. Another one, and Logan clean through that one too. 3 360s off 2 360s off 2 massive airs.
And this is a big one too, taking it deep into the tranny. No worries clearing that long field of rocks. He barely made a turn. 2 massive cross-court airs with 360s and then a long jump to make sure he pumped his score right up at the bottom.
That was a huge run, and we'd expect nothing less from the reigning champion here at Kicking Horse. Logan Pehota putting forward his campaign for a back-to-back victory. That was a spectacular run. Those two.
Look at those green bars in the judging criteria.
Yeah, that's going to be a high score for sure. Logan definitely hitting all the categories fully, and 360s on airs that have been giving other people trouble just to hit. He just found the right spot, the right takeoffs, and then a massive one out the bottom too. Super clean landing. Logan Pehota, look how happy he is.
Yeah, you got to be stoked to something like that. He's definitely going to be right up there. And he is in second place right now, 91 points, sitting just behind Craig Murray. Craig Murray on 93, I believe, also with an incredible run. I would not want to be a judge today. That was unbelievable. You're going to have to separate runs which could win another competition on another day pretty clearly, and there's so many of them today that it's just going to be tough to order them.
Yeah, that was pretty spectacular, and you can see the boys just sharing a moment there as both of them just threw down their exact plans, and they just left it in the judges' hands. Those guys definitely looking strong, looking solid up here, but we are not done. We still have so many good skiers, so many heavy hitters. We have the man, current World Tour leader in the gate right now. Markus Eder took the victory in Japan, has definitely skied this venue well. He was on the podium last year in second place behind Logan, and you know he wants to sit on the top step of the podium right here. Markus Eder rolling out for his run right now.
That's right. Logan Pehota, one of the last riders to drop last year and taking Markus out of the hot seat at the last minute. Markus now halfway through the field. We are halfway through the field now that Markus is dropping, so he's got a chance to regain that hot seat, but it's going to take some doing from Craig Murray sitting on 93 points and Logan on 91.
Yeah, absolutely stacked right now at the top of the podium. But Markus Eder certainly capable, and he is, following in Wheezy's footsteps, going over here into the ultra-technical zone, in the new zone that we didn't really see put to play last year. So we're going to see what Markus has in this section, going into the same zone as Craig Murray with the 3, and getting a little bit caught up, but managing to land on his feet because he's a cat, and a huge one there.
Huge transfer here, straight into the same one as Craig with the cork 3 safety. Boom, Markus!
Oh, Markus Eder, he wants it bad, and you can see it there. That was massive on that 3.
Enormous 3, holding the grab all the way, just looking so solid in the air. I think he might have taken it even deeper than Craig.
For sure he did. He got way down the transition there. That was spectacular.
Getting a little bit wild in this top here, though. I think it might end up putting him below Craig, although this transition, a little bit wild, puts a shifty in at the end. Oh, God, I would not want to be a judge right now. I want to put them all in first.
And look how he slowed his rotation down, just pushing the legs apart. He knew he was going huge, and because of the skill that he's got, basically able to slow it down and land perfectly the way he wanted to. Everything maxed out there. The line, of course, as we've seen on that side, this is only the criteria. It's just an indication. But, man, Markus Eder definitely putting forth a strong case for his spot on the podium.
Yeah, hugs all around from the crew. He is psyched. We're in the current leaderboard. I think that he's got a pretty good chance of holding on to that current leaderboard. He had a first place in Haku, but Craig had a 5th. Craig currently sitting in first at the moment. Markus surely up there on the podium, so it's going to be tight. Going to be tight at the top of the leaderboard for overall.
All right, judges coming in, looking like second place, 92 even there for Markus Eder. So bumping Logan Pehota down to 3rd, and not pushing Wheezy off the podium yet. Craig Murray still sitting on top with that. This is unbelievable the way this is developing.
93, 92, 91. Markus Eder, with a run like that, not able to take over control of the hot seat. This is unbelievable. The level that we're seeing here today is just every year. Craig Murray holding the New Zealand flag, sitting comfortable in the hot seat, repping for his boys that he's traveled here with. And I'm proud of that too, man. New Zealand and Freeride represent out of the club fields.
So what a show we're seeing here. Ski man, Markus Eder just throwing it down. We've got back up to the top. Drew Tabke, I guarantee something creative coming. Drew Tabke always able to find the takeoffs and the landings that the others don't. We've seen him throw some massive tricks. He had a humongous 360 here last year. Of course, the backflip in Andorra last year. We're going to see where he goes and how he kicks things off for his run.
That's right, the transferinator, as I call him. He's always finding huge cross hit here. Oh, he's already charging into something in a different angle than I expected. And yeah, taking that windlip almost uphill to get over into the nice snow at the top of that part of the venue, actually. Bit variable below it, but a couple of nice turns in there.
Yeah, side hill lips there. He's already had 3 hits in the place where other people are just making their way down to their first one. Tabke finding tranny on that one and then pushing straight over that wind drift. And clean so far. Drew Tabke looking strong right now.
5 hits already. Coming down to the Paladin section, I believe. No?
No, he's one step over. He's in that cookies and cream there, getting off that first one and looking like he just plugged the landing and losing his... His skis are going to charge down and try to attack him, but he does manage to dodge out of the way. It's funny snow texture in there. We had a few avalanches slough through there earlier in the week with the control work, and I wonder if that firmness was what affected him there.
Yeah, it could even be different firmness between the two skis when he landed. You know, with a bit of heavy debris, you might land in one hard and one soft part of the snow, and one of your tips dies and the other don't. So he's lost both of his skis. That is going to be a no score. Just doing a wee bum slide down to get his other ski and make his way out of the venue. He's all good. He will be fine to ski another day. Great run from him in Hakuba, so he's already got one good score in the bag this year. Unfortunately not his day today, but Drew, style master, the Transferinator, he will be back. He's skied Andorra and February a few times before, and he's always got creative runs there. So, who do we have sitting in the top three? I think I know, actually, and I think that they have scores of 93, 92, and 91.
Yeah, look at this leaderboard. I've never seen anything like that. 93 for Craig Murray, 92 for Markus Eder, 91 for Logan Pehota. Heavy hitters and all heavy-hitting runs. Each quite different, you know, each of these guys finding their own take on this pace. Logan a little bit more on the left, and then Markus and Craig over in that new section that we didn't really see any action in last year. Already 3 guys in the 90s, and we're only halfway through the field. We're 10 seconds away here from a man who we know can go bigger. Raine Barkered looking to start things off here with a bang as he pushes out of the gate and gets things underway.
That's right, another former Freeride World Tour champion, winning in 2012. He has been on the tour for 10 years now. The tour is 11 years old, and this is Raine's 10th year on it. So the seasoned veteran, he knows the venues, he knows how it works, he knows how to please the judges. So what's he got for us today? Also making his way over to Looker's left part of the venue, the spines, as we've been calling it.
Yeah, we're seeing that pay off going over there. Super creative. Raine Barkered looking to, he's coming in hot here. Just a little slash turn there to check his location. And he's going to drop in the same spot we saw Markus and Craig come into, and then get off this same air. Nice and clean. Look at the rocks in the bomb hole. Raine Barkered pinned.
One hard turn into the 10 hole air and taking it so deep. Stomping it.
That was spectacular. He didn't slow down at all, just showing complete mastery of his technique. And coming over here for one last extra credit hit, going way across court there, trying to
almost
jump
an
across
uphill
the
landing,
cone,
unfortunately,
yeah.
but stomping it with legs of steel.
Yeah, luckily he's one of the few humans on Earth that could take a landing like that and just make it look smooth.
Didn't even put a hand down.
Barkered getting off that Tanner Hall air and going massive.
So same top here as Markus and Craig. Not what Tanner had. I think Tanner skied through that section to make sure he lined up this air perfectly. Raine showing off his technique and control, that he could hit that top air, make one hard turn through a Saki section and still take that bottom air deep before just, I want a powder landing. It's uphill, I don't care.
Yeah, that was a strong run there. Strong case for Raine Barkered. This is such an impressive field. Look at the line score fluidity way up. He was able to add a couple features to that section that other riders weren't able to get. So definitely he's already telling stories here about how it went, and that's one of the best parts about this is the athletes when they regroup at the bottom and each one of them talk about what they just went through.
Yeah.
Raine Barkered there finding a couple extra features on that side, which should really help with his line score. Of course, the judges looking to see you hit the most features you can in any given section, and I think they're gonna like that one.
Yeah, that's right. Raine and Drew standing next to each other, dropping after each other, getting a high five to each other. They are the 2012-2013 Freeride World Tour champions. That was actually Aymar Navarro giving Raine the knuckle bumps there. 87.33 for Raine in the top 5 at the moment. Solid run from him. I think that the main thing that would mean he was not breaking into the podium is because he didn't trick any of those airs, whereas the others were tricking them. Still an amazing run though, the size of those airs. But Craig Murray with 2 tricks in that same section that Raine just skied. Really impressive stuff from all of the ski guys today.
Unreal. So we're going back up to the top. A French rider, Yann Dumax-Baudron, is looking like he's going to be dropping from start B. Yann Dumax-Baudron, wild card onto the tour. He is here to prove himself, and he wants it real bad. He's going from the technical section here at the second start. We're making our way through the men's field, and what a show it's been here, Neil.
That's right. Yann Dumax and his second competition here on the Freeride World Tour in Kicking Horse, Golden Besse. Look at the mountains in the background. The Purcells are pretty impressive. And Yann dropping from the top start, coming fast into this top wind drift, taking it deep with a shifty. Really good technique from this guy. There's variable snow there and he's charging through it. Great control.
Yeah, really standing over the ski, getting into this one, catching a nice little tranny on that one, and then straight over the wind drift. lining up the bomb hole as his transition, and then we're going to see him come down into the steeper section here. You can see some of the old tracks as he's going to follow that same one and go cross court, across the couloir, and straight to his feet, and he's going to get another one.
Nice collection of hits here from Yann. Stoked. He's put the run down that he wanted. That's been going through his mind for a long time. He didn't put down the run he wanted to in Hakuba, and here he has 4 solid hits. Fast, smooth, smart skiing. Kind of a run that was very popular last year, I think. That was a zone that a lot of people went into last year, not so many this year. So backing himself to ski something other people have skied in a better way than they skied it.
Yeah, showing super solid technique, and I like that off that what was other riders' final air, that he was able to get over his skis enough and stand on the ski enough to hook over back to the skier's left and catch one more feature at the bottom there.
Yeah, that's
Judge
right.
is definitely going to like that. It's going to add to his line score. We see that represented here in the judging criteria with the line score sitting nice and high. Air and style, not as much as you said. You know, at this stage of the game, if you want to max that air and style category out, you got to be adding some tricks on
That's
some
right.
of those big features.
Bit of a tactical game as well on the Freeride World Tour. You have 4 competitions to get 3 results that count, and he hasn't had one from Hakuba so far. So if you get 2 that aren't good enough to put you in contention for requalification and get you to Verbier, then you're kind of out. So he just wanted to get a score down, get one on the bag, skied a really good run to his style, fast, fluid, to his feet, really good control technique and lots of features. So I think that's going to be at least a top 10. And oh, there you go,
Bang
10th
on.
place.
10th place, 73 even for Yann Dumax-Baudron there out of France, with a pretty creative run, and like I said, adding a couple features there at the bottom, showing great control, good technique as he was standing on the ski to redirect himself.
That's
so
right.
we're heading back up to the top. We're going to check out Andrew Pollard. So we just saw little sister Jacqueline take out the women's field with a win there, but we're going to see what Andrew's got. Andrew, known for a super playful style. He likes to get poppy, he likes to get jibby, and he loves to ski. Out of the start gate, Andrew Pollard out of Alta, Utah, getting ready to start his day.
That's right. I don't think Andrew or Jacqueline were particularly happy with their result or their run in Hakuba. So Jacqueline managed to capitalize on the opportunity here in Kicking Horse, and Andrew looking to do the same with a huge spread eagle off the top. That was pretty big.
I think it might have been a Daffy. I don't know. We got
Splaffy?
Andrew Pollard just bringing the old school. You know, that's the Alta vibe there. Keep it old school. And now he is keeping it flowing as he flashed through that section.
Really quick. A splaffy. High mute, show that he's cool as well as retro cool. Nice shifty off that one too, just so fast through this main section.
Yeah, I think Andrew was looking to maybe catch the double there, but the speed with which he took the first air was kind of pushed him past the takeoff of the double. I could be wrong though, you never know what these guys are thinking, but yeah, really solid run there. So looking back here at Andrew's run, he was so clean here, and then into this double with the shifty, and looking like, yeah, he was going to stand on the left foot there and try and push off to this, or push over to the second takeoff, but the speed just not kind of allowing it. So let it go, pin it down the couloir, and keep things moving towards the bottom.
So Andrew Pollard getting hugs from the boys. Stoked for the Stokers. Good vibes around here on the World Tour. Getting a hug from his sister. I wonder if he knows that she won yet.
Probably not. He's been at the top, camped out there. 67-67 for Andrew Pollard. That's going to slide him into 12th spot. We're going right back up. We're flying through the field here. So we're going back to Sweden here with Carl Regner. And we're going to first take a look there at our hot seat, Black Diamond hot seat holder, Craig Murray out of New Zealand. He's got the blanket over his legs.
The flag.
The flag blanket. Flanket.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. You got me, man, thanks. But yeah, Craig Murray, pretty young.
All right, so Carl
Regner,
out
also
of
young.
Start two, yeah, a young Swede. Really proved himself on the Q Tour, and then last year here, this is his first year on the FWT.
He was going to be on the World Tour last year, but he broke both his arms
That's
in
right.
Hakuba and missed all of the stops. It's good to not try and ski with 2 broken arms. So welcome back, Carl. You're a multiple-time winner of the Scandinavian Big Mountain Championships, which this is in no way a slight to Rainer. It's a big ups to Carl. Rainer's competed there every year except once since 2004 and never won. Carl has won it twice. So Freeride World Tour champion in 2012 to compare himself to, and Carl starting things off with a huge backflip off the lightning bolt. This is the second run. He wasn't happy with his run in Hakuba, so wow, what else is he going to do up from first run backflip?
That is the way he wanted to start his run off there with that massive backflip. And then pinning it down, dead fall line across the bomb hole. Carl Regnet making short work of this venue. He straight lined from so high up into that air.
Took it deep.
We're looking at him here. He's still got enough speed to the section where the other guys were walking across as he's still flying.
Maybe he's going to bounce off one of those rock pillows. Really nice backflip, though.
Laid it right out, right to bolts there, Carl. And then coming into this one, that's a snaggy takeoff. He, got a little bit of the running man, but it helped him to bounce, and he got his feet underneath him. And then this right out the bottom, full pin, full speed, full commitment off that one. Carl finishing his run strong and on his skis, which is where he wanted to be. Line and fluidity, air and style way up, control a little bit down. Definitely he was riding out the tails on that long and low, but absolutely flying. So that I think the judges are going to like that fluidity way up.
Absolutely. Carl, one of the two brothers, Carl and Ole Regner Eriksson, skiing out of Åre in Sweden, same as Jackie and Reine. Not sticking around to get his score, just wants to get out of there, hug his buddies, and maybe have a beer. He's put in a good run today. Great way to prove yourself. Backflip on the first hit, and the score is coming in.
66.33 for 13th there for Carl. I love the shape of that backflip. I love the way he just laid that out. It almost looks like his spine's bending in reverse. My favorite kind of backflip. All right, hot seat right now. Your boy, Craig Murray, sitting in first place with a 93 even. Markus Eder, 92 even. And Logan Pehota, 91. So we're all on even scores there. 1, 2, 3 sitting on 91, 92, and 93.
Not a lot of space in between those guys.
Crazy high scores, and they were crazy good runs. We are straight back up to the top, though. The French.
Sasaki and Fabio Studer, 3 heavy hitters to finish the ski guys today. We've had 18 riders, and there's 3 more, Canada, Japan, and Austria. Liam Pfeiffer not pulling off a run that he was happy with in Hakuba when his twin brother podium. So are we going to see a reverse of that today?
Well, Liam Pfeiffer has got something to prove. He really wants this, and he skied really well in Japan, but he didn't exactly ski the line he wanted. So that is now going to come, hopefully, to fruition as Liam Pfeiffer out of the Whistler Freeride Club right off the bat with a huge backflip to bolts there. Liam getting things started the way he wanted. He's feeling hungry right now, is Liam.
Similar line to Carl so far, but a mixture of that with Bimboes and finding a way more creative way through that. That was super well found, his little like shark-infested takeoff, and he just takes it super deep like Bimboes does, but
The
stomping
same
it.
air as Mickael, but getting over the rocks. Liam Pfeiffer doing exactly what he wanted to do there. The backflip there, as you said, a slightly different line on the air that took his brother out. That was a much snowier takeoff, and then the massive send out the bottom for Liam Pfeiffer straight to stomp. Check out this backflip. Liam Pfeiffer right to bolts there, and we're looking at the criteria. Everything pinned. Technique, the only one, I don't know what the judges are seeing there, but top marks all the way through, and then this huge air out the bottom, clearing that other bomb hole and
Needed more speed,
airing.
huh?
Yeah, well, you just needed a little more speed. Airing into the finish line. Liam Pfeiffer is going to be hyped on that, and there's Tom with a big hug.
Tom and Liam Pfeiffer, the two Canadian rookies qualifying through the FWQ along with Andrew Pollard last year. Given his ski a wipe to show off his sponsors, and why not? You must be proud of that run, my friend. That was really impressive stuff. Gets a fist bump from his brother. It's a big smile on his face. They have swapped in the way that he's happy with his run this time, not so much last time. And Tom probably a bit of a swap, but at least they've got one of them to stoke each other out at both of the stops so far.
Yeah, and these two probably just driving their mum nuts right now. You know, one of these times, both of them are going to put down their run, but Sharon's out there, and she is stoked right now for Liam as we anxiously wait for the judges' scores. The line score is going to be through the roof there for Liam, and we're going to see what the judges thought about it. You know, that was a super impressive run, and nice to see him bounce back. As we said, the mental fortitude, bounce back from something in Japan that wasn't exactly the way he wanted it to go, to put down his exact plan here and kind of prove to himself, as well as obviously everyone else, that this is the stage that he belongs on.
Exactly, and I don't know if he could see from the top that Bimboes hit the same run as him and crashed, but if he could see that and he still did it like that, then amazing props. The line score was super high, 79.33 for Liam Pfeiffer, right into the top 10, second comp, and he's doing good. Welcome along, Mr. Rookie. We've got Craig Murray going over from the hot seat to give him a high five and a hug. The young guys hanging out, shredding together, killing it together, putting down an amazing show.
Yeah, it was cool. Liam and Craig Murray and Tom actually at the same Junior World Championships years ago, and now all of them coming up here on tour. So we're going back up. This man finished 4th in Hakuba, Yu Sasaki. He has wanted to back that up here on the kicking horse Ozone face. We're going to see what he's got. He's always kind of creative. He's definitely got a deep bag of tricks on the freestyle side.
That's right. Yu Sasaki, filming with the Heart Films crew out of Japan, spending a lot of time in Revelstoke, basically living there with his partner and child. Came second in the 2-star in Japan a couple of years ago. I was really impressed to see that before the 4-star, where he couldn't compete where he's working. Won the 3-star there this year, got wildcarded back onto the Japan stop, and now the whole tour. And I fully think he deserves to be here, and I'm excited to see what he's going to put down.
Yu Sasaki going absolutely direct there into that rubbly debris, not slowing down at all. Coming over here to get the little top section with a 3 off the top of the lightning bolt and moving crosshill here, going super fast.
Really fast to link those features up. He's already put a trick in, looking to probably trick this next feature as well, I imagine. Tidy 3, stomping it in the bomb holes a little bit, having a close encounter with a tree.
Yu Sasaki just keeping things flowing downhill, quick feet as he makes his way over here onto this spine section and going cross court into the core. It looked like he might have landed on a rock there. Yu Sasaki, though, will not slow down. He is flying out the bottom. Definitely made short work of Ozone.
And manly strength to fight himself out of that backseat run out. He was refusing to go down there. The terrain was not on his side. Bumpy cross hill run out, just staying on his feet out of pure determination.
So we're going to see where he's sitting. Line score, fluidity in the green, control, air, and style and technique. Definitely control, you know, for you there. He had a couple moments where we were wondering what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But he did hold on to it, and he's down in the finish. He's whole. His heart is beating, you know, probably 1,000 miles a minute. But he is in the finish and always, you know, with that characteristic big smile.
Pleasure to be around. Really friendly, nice guy. Great to have some more Japanese riders on the tour this year. We've got Yu, Wakana, and Ayana. So Yu Sasaki coming in at 60.67 with such a tight field of so many high scores. I think the minor control issues that he had probably have hurt him in terms of ranking there.
Yeah, basically with the way this field is skiing here, you have to be perfect if you want to be in contention. You got to be perfect and you got to be on a banger line. Right now, these three guys did it. Craig Murray, 93, Markus Eder on a 92, and Logan Pehota on a 91. That is a solid group of runs there. Every one of them skied their exact plan. So the last man in the gate right now, Fabio Studer, standing at the top of ozone, ready to wrap things up here at Kicking Horse.
That's right, Fabio Studer, the Austrian, has got some great results on the World Tour in the past. Didn't have a great run at Hakuba, I don't believe, so he'll be looking to get redemption on that. Really fun guy to be around, great sense of humor, shows how much he loves skiing through his skiing as well. Styly, great backcountry segments in the Legs of Steel movies. So Fabio on course, the last person with a chance to knock Logan off the podium. Otherwise, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 with a Canadian, Kiwi, and an Italian.
Yeah, Fabio making his way across this peppery section. Quite smart to stay above those rocks, as those ones have definitely tripped a few people up. Looking to get things started here for Fabio, as I think he's going to be making his way over to the top of the lightning bolt, making his, oh no, pass, and now he's back into the lightning bolt takeoff for a nice boosty nice boosty straight out of there and nice into the fall line.
Fabio coming down here quickly, putting in a shifty on a long air, getting some good powder turns, even though he's the last rider of the day, following on through there and enjoying that snow, looking to line up the same hit that I think we saw Sammy hit, and that was sick. Really nice shifty out the bottom of that too.
So Fabio Studer making short work of the venue there as he finishes things off. He's, you know, he's just got that great spirit. He's flipping little shifties off, olling off his tails and making his way into the finish. So what we have right now is a full set of riders, top to bottom, clean, uninjured, which is making me super happy to know that we got through the whole field. We're going to see the criteria there. Little down on line and fluidity, nice on control, air and style and technique. You know, just kind of squeaking into the green there for Fabio Studer. We'll see what the judges had to say about that, but definitely a full complement of ski men. Now the category is done. We are unofficially looking at Craig Murray sitting on the top step there. So
many shifties from Fabio, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to get him on the podium. So he's good buddies with Markus Eder. I'm sure he'll be stoked for him as well. Doesn't look super stoked coming into the finish line. Usually we see a trick from him. Not today. Getting a hug from Craig. Solid skiing from Fabio though.
Yeah, it's been cool watching the adventures of these guys on Instagram. They were in Hawaii before this stop and actually sand skiing down the volcanoes. You know, one thing I think that is really a lot of these riders have in common is just their sort of the spirit of fun. You know, they're in this for a good time because it's the most fun thing you can do, shredding around the world with your friends. And those guys definitely hitting that aspect of it. So 15th place there for Fabio with 65.67, wrapping up the men's field there. That's going to do it. So we're panning over to Craig Murray, sitting in the Black Diamond hot seat.
Yeah, buddy. You've had a podium before. You've had 2 podiums before, but you haven't had a win. Representing for New Zealand, the Kiwi freeride scene. It's going off right now, and even though 2 of them are out with injury, not joining us this season, this guy is doing enough to represent for the country, getting hugs from the crew, high fives. Everyone's stoked for him. That run was unbelievable. A 360 in mad exposure at the top, a compulsory turn into a huge air that he flat 3'd. I think it might have even been the other way. I think it might have been a left side 3, right side flat 3. Incredible crazy stuff from the young Kiwi, backing up his podium finish in Verbier last year with a first ever win on the Freeride World Tour here in Kicking Horse, Golden, BC. Hands to his head, he can't believe it. He's asking Aymar Navarro to put the New Zealand flag on his back like a cape, and he's going to be wearing that for the rest of the day.
What a day here in Golden. Kicking Horse Mountain Resort delivering the goods. The face, unbelievable conditions. T-Hall there coming in for hugs. The ski boss. Unbelievable the way these guys threw down, and so stoked to see the whole field, like we said, at the bottom. And what a show we got. 3 runs in the 90s. Boom, boom, boom. 93, 92, 91.
So crazy.
Craig, Markus, and Logan there. We're going to take a look here at how things finished up.
So outside of our top three, Craig, Markus, and Loda, we had Kristofer Turdell and Reine Barkered, the two Swedish former Freeride World Tour champions. Yann Rausis having a great run 6th, Berkeley Patterson 7th, Liam Pfeiffer 8th, and Tanner Hall with that ginormous 360, making a 9th place just to give you a feeling of the level of skiing today. Wadeck Gorak with the backflip, super fast and technical skiing, landing him in 10th, and a top 10 finish today, I feel, could be a win in a different competition on a different day.
Absolutely, yeah. Great to see, some of the guys who didn't throw it down there in Japan kind of rallying back up, and obviously the top end of the stick there, just incredibly skilled, great runs. See Kristofer and Reine there representing for the Swedes, and then Yann and Aymar, Andrew Pollard, getting one to his feet. Carl,
Fabio and Leo, there's all solid runs.
Yeah, there's so much good skiing there, all the way through. Like we said, it really comes down to whose day is it.
Exactly.
Who puts it down, who finds the super creative line, and then is able to execute the plan, because everyone here is certainly capable of doing it. There's a heavy hitting field. Basically in all 4 categories. So we're going to see what this has done to the overall rankings. We're kind of into the meat of the tour now. 2 stops in, Markus Eder
so on top,
looking solid, and then Craig Murray. Tanner Hall sitting in that 3rd place position. Kristofer and Reine finishing 4-5 right now, or not finishing, but ranking 4-5. Yann Rausis, Tom Pfeiffer, Yu Sasaki, Berkeley bumping up, and then Aymar Navarro rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, there's solid gaps between that as well. Markus quite a ways out in front with the 1st and the 2nd, and then after that it gets real tight down here. So we're taking 11 or 12 people. I'm not sure exactly the amount due to the number of injuries we had from the ski guys category this year. We need to give space for injury wildcards next year, but about 11, which means that most of the guys on this part of the sheet aren't looking at qualifying for Verbier or next year at the moment. But look how tight they are on points. It's only a matter of a few hundred points between them, and a win being worth 2,500 points, well, the game could absolutely change. We've only had 2 stops out of 4 before we take the cut for the finals in Verbier. So although these guys aren't doing great at the moment, they've definitely still got a chance to pick things up like Mickael Bimboes did last year and requalify.
Yeah, so one of the I think most fun parts about this when you're out with your friends is that you can get things involved, you can get your friends involved, you can get yourself involved with the Peak Performance Fun Bet. You go online, you log in, you make yourself a profile, and then you choose who you think is going to win in all the categories. And it is hard. I've had I had some good luck on Hakuba. I think I got smoked on this one. So difficult when everybody in the field can win.
My name is Hedvig Wessel, and I want to stand on the top of the podium as a Freeride World Tour champion. With Peak Performance Fun Bet, you can choose whoever you think will win. By doing so, you have the chance of winning prizes from Peak Performance. Follow these instructions to enter the fun bet. Now, who would you bet on?
A very playful rider. That's not a big air.
The whole venue, and he's just cruising.
Me?
That's right.
Yeah, the Peak Performance Fun Bet.
I betted on that today as well, and I think I did quite a lot better than I did in Japan. Of course, if we do win anything, we don't give it to ourselves. We let the person that came after us win that. We're not officially competing as staff members. We're just participating for fun. And the next Peak Performance Fun Bet that you can participate in is for Austria. The next stop is in February. It's only a week and a half away, I believe. So get your Peak Performance Fun Bets in for that. And let's take a quick look at the next stop that we're going to be showing you too. So February, the next stop, 22nd to the 28th of February. We will be there. We will hope to see you there. We hope you enjoyed the show here today. It was amazing for us, pretty mind-blowing stuff. And what do you think about your first stop as a commentator?
I'm absolutely blown away. Watching it on the webcast over the years has been spectacular. This is a whole different level, and I can't wait to see what these riders are going. We're off to Europe. I'd like to give a big thanks to Golden, a big thanks to Kicking Horse Resort, and of course a big thanks to all the Freeride World Tour athletes for putting on a show for us and for just making this so special here in Kicking Horse Golden, BC. So we are off to Europe next. Everyone, we're going to see you in Fieberbrunn.
Brrr up!